Prepare yourself.
Oh, this is the Ninja Troll Digicast.
Hello again and welcome to the Cathedral of Wisdom for the Ninja Troll Digicast. My name is Tim Dixon and I am here with Mike Worth.
Hello,
And
my friend.
I am so excited because the day has finally come.
Thursday,
December 17th, which is technically
what
the
president's
release.
birthday?
No president's birthday.
No, it's Star Wars
It's
Day.
Star Wars Day.
Yes.
Technically, the movie comes out on the 18th. That's what we've been saying for the longest time.
Right.
But the midnight premiere thing has gotten pushed up. They're showing it tonight at 7 p.m.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
Here in town?
Yeah. So
Oh.
it's not like a midnight premiere anymore like we used to have to go to at midnight. Now
Right.
they're showing it at 7 p.m.
Fantastic.
So in a couple hours you can go see. I don't think you can actually get tickets to it anymore.
I think so.
But
Yeah.
I've already gotten my tickets for Saturday morning, so I'm good to go.
I have a job application at the AMC theater.
Oh, that's genius.
I thought it'd be a
You
great
could watch
way.
it over and over again.
I'll just quit.
Okay, I'm not coming
done.
into work tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
done.
right. That's right.
I've seen all I need to see.
That's right.
Well, like we said, welcome to the Ninja Troll Digicast. This week, of course, we're going to be talking a lot about The Force Awakens. We're also, in our showcase segment, we're going to take a look at lightsabers,
Awesome.
the history of them, the different colors we've seen, styles. There's actually many more styles than I even had knew about.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so there's a different, the different style, like when we talked about Dooku had the curved one. There's a specific reason it's curved.
Oh,
So yeah, exactly.
wow.
It's
All right.
interesting.
I'd love
So,
to know what that is because
well,
I'm
you will.
bothered by that.
So, and also in our Exploring the Multiverse segment, we're going to take our look at the second part of 0 Hour.
Yes.
So again, back to the 90s goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back to the 90s, not necessarily goodness.
Well, and we're going to learn who the big bad is, right?
That is true.
What's happened to Hal Jordan?
Yeah, with the big shoulder pads and
Yeah.
everything. And Guy Gardner is actually a really big part of this whole thing.
He was really
Which
good
I love.
character. Yeah,
I loved him.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about all that, but he kind of helps in a lot of
Oh,
ways,
yeah,
despite
absolutely.
being his jerkish self.
Yeah, despite being a jerk,
Yeah.
he does help out every once in a while.
That's right.
And also in movie and TV news, we've got a lot of new trailers come out. So we're going to talk about those.
You asked me you have seen this trailer? Seen this
Did
trailer?
you see this
And I was
trailer?
just
See
like,
this trailer?
oh my god!
There's a lot of trailers coming out, which I mean makes sense. And it's around Christmas time, so they're going to bring that stuff out then. And also with everybody being excited about the movies with Star Wars,
Yeah,
it's the perfect time to hit them.
absolutely,
So.
and good stuff.
Oh yeah, very good stuff. So, but a couple of things that has happened this week. This is hilarious. At Christmas time, or I guess it's always on YouTube, but at Christmas time, a lot of people will go to YouTube and you can pull up like a 24-hour version of the Yule log burning.
Oh, perfect.
So you just pull it up. You can put it on your TV and that's your.
And hope it heats the house.
I guess, yeah.
That's right.
Well, plasma TV does get a little warm. So
It's plasma.
yeah.
But what's there now?
Apparently now there's a 5-hour video of Darth Vader's funeral pyre.
What? Like the one on Endor
The one on Endor, yes.
with the melting mask?
The beginning. You see Luke and he comes with the torch and he lights the funeral pyre, and then from then on it's just Darth Vader in the flames, and it's
Okay, so you watch him melt?
it's
Like
so twisted.
that's so bizarre.
Hey, my thing is somebody sat there and edited 5 hours. And you know how many loops you have to do with that?
And to not make it look like it's a loop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it doesn't go from the little bit that I did watch. It doesn't loop back to Luke.
Mm.
It's just
Just
on
in
Vader.
That
Yeah.
Vader. Oh, it's yeah. Oh wow.
That's a crazy amount of loops.
Somebody should make the Yule ice cube. You just watch it melt.
You watch it melt. Yeah,
just for
I can do
hours, or like the Yule paint dry. Or,
yes, I could do that.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah.
So yeah, if you wish to watch hours upon hours of Darth Vader burning, go to YouTube.
The Yule Vader.
The
I
Yule
love it.
Vader, yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool.
And Stephen Amell, who's done a lot of stuff on the WWE this year, He's a huge wrestling fan. He's also Arrow.
Right.
He's been nominated for a Slammy Award.
What's that?
A Slammy Award is the award, the yearly awards that the WWE does.
Oh my God. It's
So
just
you have,
WWE.
Like, yes, you have
Okay.
like the Superstar of the Year. Sometimes, like depending on what year it is, they'll do like Superstar of the Decade. Of course, we're in the middle of the decade, so they won't do that. But
Yeah.
it's Tag Team of the Year. It's kind of like their version of the Oscars. It's always usually just completely over the top.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because the podium get wrecked and.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, he's been nominated for Best Celebrity Moment.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
With Stardust, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And his him coming off the top rope down onto the floor, that's crazy. That was nuts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think he should definitely win. So
Way more than Mr. T ever did.
oh, don't pity the fool. Now he was. Now Mr. T was part of the
Rocky?
WrestleMania 1.
Was he
So
really?
yes,
Oh,
he
wow.
he tagged with Hulk Hogan in the main event of WrestleMania 1.
Oh my God! I saw WrestleMania 1. I'm forgetting this. I need to
Yeah.
see this.
And it was him and Hogan versus Paul Orndorff and Roddy Piper.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yep.
It's
See, there
true.
you go. Yep.
Oh my God! Look at that. Yeah, he's got Roddy up in the air.
Yep.
Damn, look how buff he was, man.
Yeah.
He was killer.
And speaking of, I watched Rocky
III?
was on Spike, like the whole marathon was on the other day. And
Nice.
he was just absolutely awesome as a villain.
Clubber Lang.
He did not care about anybody. He was a dude that just came straight out of the streets and was just a bruiser.
You know what I realized? Clubber Lang is Kanye West, but in boxer form.
But in boxer form, yeah.
Right. If Clubber Lang was a rapper and a producer and an actor and all the things that Kanye was. Oh man.
Oh,
Except
Lord.
Kanye does not have a catchphrase.
It's true, yeah. And that
Yeah.
was I never, we always say, with Mr. T, I pity the fool, I pity the fool.
Yeah.
That was actually in Rocky 3. When they said, what are your thoughts about Rocky Balboa in this rematch? And he's like, I don't think of nothing about him. I pity the fool.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's actually where the line came from. So
That's awesome.
your prediction, my prediction for the fight.
Stephen Amell needs a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That could work. Well, you failed the city. So
You failed this tag
failed
team.
this award. But the Philadelphia police posted on their Facebook this week, I guess with all the Star Wars stuff going on, they posted that technically posting Star Wars spoilers is not against the law, but it should be.
Mm.
So I think, maybe they might tase somebody if they they post spoilers. I don't know.
Oh.
So you might want to be careful in Philadelphia if you're going to be posting spoilers.
Apparently, Philly don't play.
But I agree with them.
Yeah.
I completely agree with them. There's been a lot of memes running around now that they've done the premiere, and there's people who have seen it that are out there.
Who are talking?
And some are talking, but there's been like
Not cool.
There's been I saw one video of Liam Neeson as Qui-Gon, but with his Taken line dubbed over it.
Yeah, and I will find you and I will kill you.
Yeah. If you post Star Wars spoilers, I will find you and I will kill you. So yeah, they're dubbing that over his video of him as Qui-Gon.
That's awesome.
And there's a YouTube video running around. There's a guy who he runs a website called howtobeadad.com.
Awesome.
And he loves Star Wars. And so, leading up to the premiere of Force Awakens, he got his son, who looks to be about 6 years old, maybe.
Okay.
And he's going to show him Star Wars. And he did a video of it. And it's absolutely adorable because his kid's all getting into it. And he's of course, he's like a kid. So he, like any regular kid, he's asking questions here, and he's like, okay, who's his dad? Well, just wait, we gotta watch, and because Luke's talking about his dad, he's like, who's his dad? He's like, let's just watch.
Yeah,
let's just keep going.
Yeah, you'll find out.
So, yeah, but it was adorable to watch. And it got to me because that's something that I'm experiencing with my daughter.
Awesome.
Because, and I was thinking about it today. This is their moment. Because we had our moment when we saw it in the theater. I don't know,
I was Jedi. I only got Jedi.
Yeah, you only got Jedi in the
Yeah, I was
theater,
very
but
young.
For people my age, I got to see the first one I remember seeing the commercial and going, okay, I gotta go see that. I gotta go see that
Star
movie.
Wars coming this summer.
Yeah, and it was the commercial was very almost like low rent. Well, I mean, the first one was basically a B movie, but the commercial was very low key. I don't think there was any music on it. It was just images of them fighting in space, and I was like, okay, I got to go see this. This is cool.
Yeah,
and I've got to go.
Yeah.
But I got to see it in the theater, and that is a special thing, and the kids get this now.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the prequel trilogy, you got that, but
that was what 99 to 2005 or so, right? When they all came out. So it's right around the turn of the century.
Yeah. So you got another generation is now getting that moment again.
That's awesome.
And hopefully it turns out from everything that's being said about it. And I'm trying to stay away from most of it because I don't want any spoilers. I don't even want to really. I mean, I've seen that people are saying that it's good.
Oh, everybody says round of applause at the end, shouting and screaming and saying cheers.
That was somebody who had pointed out a little while ago. It was like, yeah, the prequels looked really good up until you saw them in the theater. Like the trailers for the prequels looked great.
Oh, they were awesome.
But didn't really
pan out.
Yeah, it didn't pan out. So
everything looks gray now, like all the CG stuff. But look, that Yoda Dooku fight, that's still awesome.
That Muppet kicked ass.
He did, man. He was way better than Animal.
Yeah, it's true.
In Electric Mayhem.
Dr. Teeth.
Dr. Teeth.
That's what Star Wars needs is Dr. Teeth.
They need somebody like that.
Well, let's just head right into our movie and TV news. Last week was the mid-season finale for Arrow.
Oh, it was good.
It was really, really good because you had a moment where everybody's in jeopardy.
Right.
They made it out of that.
Right.
Everything's cool, or you think it is. And then you're left with the cliffhanger of, is Felicity dead?
That would be horrible.
That would really push the show in general, but specifically Oliver. That would push him to a dark place.
Dark. Yeah, he'd be killing again. He would completely change. Yeah, and him as a public figure, as a politician.
Oh yeah,
doing all those things.
That'd be over. There's nothing. I mean, there's no way.
No.
But there was something I saw online today that was an interesting thing.
What?
Could she become Oracle?
Oh.
If she's injured.
Just like Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
But in the Arrow universe. That's a great theory.
She kind of is already.
Yeah. The hacker in the comm and everything.
Yeah, without the wheelchair, basically.
Right.
But she's almost there. So maybe. But it'll be interesting. I think whether she lives or dies, Damien Dark is in trouble.
Big trouble. Yeah, he's going to have to reckon that.
He's going to go after him seriously, big time.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see that when it comes back in January. I'm not sure exactly when.
I'm not sure. I think it was late January.
Yeah.
But wasn't the hit on the car like real gangster looking?
It was.
They pulled him over and just riddled. But
it was. Yeah.
You're not going to survive if you lay down in the car. It's not like that part is bulletproof.
Well, hey, I'll get down. They don't know that there's a floorboard here.
That's right.
So they won't shoot down here.
Right. Yeah, the liquor cabinet will block it.
There you go. Yeah. Don't shoot the expensive liquor. But we'll get to see that whether she survives or. But we have seen a funeral. We've seen Ollie and Barry at a funeral.
Right.
But that was before Barry traveled through time.
That's right.
Maybe that's been changed.
Who knows? Yeah.
I don't know.
I wonder. I was thinking too that like Francine would die, and then that would make Joe and Wally and Iris have a better connection, because then Wally would be on his own, Yeah. So. But
it seemed like because.
But why would Arrow be there? Why would Oliver Queen be there?
Well, and actually, it seemed like Barry was the one coming because he comes and says, "Sorry, I'm late. I've been dealing with stuff." So it's
Oliver's.
It's Oliver's funeral basically.
Friend's funeral.
Yeah.
I wonder
because he's visiting.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it certainly seems like Felicity's not long for the world because she had blood coming out of the mouth, which on TV means you're gone.
Yeah, is that the rule?
That's like
That's the trope.
That's the way,
it's the blood mouth theory.
Yep. See, So you got blood coming out their mouth. You're done for. So,
That's it.
But we'll get to see that hopefully soon. Hopefully soon into the mid-season premiere, they'll fix that deal.
I can't wait. So. I'm pumped. It's like this week was like I guess I'll read.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who wants to read?
Guess I'll just read because there's no show on.
And the trailer for X-Men Apocalypse was released actually like a day after we did the show last week.
Yeah.
They always put out the good stuff right after we do the show.
What's going on? It's Comic Book Wednesday. Come on.
I'm not that invested in the X-Men. I'm not as big of a fan as X-Men as you are.
I'm not a huge X-Men fan.
Okay.
I kind of all right, I am. I mean, I have every major X-Men issue up until 2005. I went and got it all.
Yeah.
Right. I don't have number 1, 2, or 3, but I have 4 and a bunch of others after I have 94.
Like the Uncanny X-Men?
Uncanny X-Men.
Wow,
yeah, from the
all
60s.
the way back? Nice.
Oh yeah. I went on like a spree.
Yeah.
I almost got divorced because of it. But
it's a disease.
Yeah. And a lot of the issues I have are in good or very fair condition, just because I wanted to have a copy, you know. But like I read the Age of Apocalypse in the 90s and that sort of thing. So seeing this film come out and how they're going to sort of play it out was very interesting.
Yeah.
But what were your thoughts sort of on seeing this trailer?
On first watch, I wasn't really all that impressed with it. I've watched it again since. We actually watched it right before we did the show,
right,
just to kind of get another look at it. It seemed a little better on second watch. At first, it was I see one of the big things for me is Apocalypse just doesn't look like he should. He doesn't sound. He definitely doesn't. I mean, from the cartoons, he doesn't sound the way he really. I feel like he should.
He was very like Darkseid in the comics.
Yes, he's very menacing. This guy doesn't seem that menacing.
No, he's more like a Vandal Savage or like a.
Now there was one shot where he grew and was like, I don't remember who it was. He was pushing down, but it looked like he was growing.
It was Charles. I think it was Xavier.
Was Xavier?
Yeah, I think he was holding him down.
Yeah, but it looked like he was becoming giant.
Yeah, he can shapeshift. That's his mutant powers that he can.
Oh, okay.
But they're making him out to have more powers, sort of, than that. So I guess we'll see.
I don't know if this was part of the comic, but like his backstory of being around
immortal
into biblical times and stuff like that.
That's been pretty standard.
Okay.
He's
basically the inference of maybe the Bible got the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse from him.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very interesting. It was and the shot of Angel, or I guess this would be Archangel.
He looked all right. He was still a human though, like because whatever his name is, Worthington.
He's Worthington or Whitworth or something.
Something the third. Yeah, I forget his first name. He had that blue skin.
Yes.
And that was sort of part of his transformation. That made the Archangel character look amazing in the comics.
Oh, yeah. It looked really good. Because he was like a mixture of Apocalypse and
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still, the shooting of the feathers as blades, that's
cool.
going to be cool. I'm excited to see them work that out. So let's see. Let's see. There'll probably be some follow-up trailers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hopefully
and I still have to watch Days of Future Past.
Which is a real good one.
So.
Have you read it, Days of Future Past?
A long time ago, yeah.
I've got it in like a bundled form. Mm-hmm. I'll let you borrow it just so you can see and then compare.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. And this is a new film in the Harry Potter world. Oh. Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them has released a trailer for the new movie. It's set 70 years before Harry was born.
Cool. So Hagrid will be in this, or Hagrid would be too young?
That would be even before him.
Yeah.
This is Ned Scamander he's almost like a acquisitions guy. He goes and finds
like magical items,
magical beasts actually.
Cool.
And something gets loose in New York City.
Ooh.
So and it's got Eddie Redmayne. So it's
who's that?
It's one of those guys, you'd know him if you see him. He's been in a lot of movies right now. Yeah, exactly.
He's that guy.
He's been in a lot of movies. He played Stephen Hawking in the one about him.
Whatever I forget what that one was. What was it called?
I forget the name of it.
Where he's young and grows up and everything. Okay.
And it's his story of his ALS becoming worse and worse.
Right.
But yeah, he's Eddie Redmayne is it's kind of creepy. There you go.
Yep.
he's kind of creepy in everything. So I think it lends well to this kind of story. He's a weird little kind of quirky dude, and it's set in America, so you get to see American, the American set of or the American wizarding world instead of just in Britain. So they're in New York, I believe.
When which is the one where they had the Tri-Wizards Cup?
That's
right?
Goblet of Fire.
Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Did any American people come for that?
They were from France, Bulgaria, and where was the other one?
Wasn't it Caribbean or something? So wasn't it like a voodoo type thing?
No, I don't. There was another. It's the Tri-Wizard Cup. So there's only 3. So it was Hogwarts, the French school, and then the Bulgarians.
Le Hogwarts.
Yeah. I don't remember exactly what it was. Yes, it was only 3, and Harry was in there too, so he was like the 4th one in there. But yeah, there was never any mention of anything other than those 3 schools. But that was the first mention of anything other than Hogwarts.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice to see a little bit, because that's been like people were wondering. Okay, well, what about wizards that are in America?
Right.
Or
you got a great magic culture in the U.S. as well.
Yeah.
Right. Voodoo. I mean, and tons of other Santeria, the Caribbean, and
So
Salem.
This will be a little more, and it'll be interesting to see if Harry Potter specifically is not attached to it. Will this be as popular?
I think so.
Yeah.
Well, at least everybody will give it a shot.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
News from The Flash, even though we're in our mid-season hiatus or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
There's been some casting news. Eliza Hamilton is a speedster known as Trajectory.
Oh.
It was introduced in 52, the series 52. She will be introduced to The Flash. There's no word on casting.
Trajectory. Okay.
She was one of the Lex Luthor called them the Evermen. He gave them drugs to give them superpowers, and she became a speedster.
Right.
And she did die in 52 as well. But maybe this will be who.
Weren't they Infinity Incorporated for a minute?
Yes, they became Infinity Incorporated.
He's like, I spent a lot of money on that name.
Yeah. They became Infinity Incorporated. Maybe this will be who Harry from Harrison Wells from Earth 2 tests velocity 6
or 7,
like when they get up to 9 to test it on her to see if it works.
So Jay will get his speed back somehow from that, hopefully.
I would think so. Yeah, I think that's probably where.
And then maybe Jesse Quick.
Yes,
if they save her.
We have Jesse Quick as well. Did you watch I know you hadn't last week. You hadn't watched the.
Oh yeah, I totally.
Finale. Okay,
it was great.
So you got to see what Zoom is doing now,
Oh.
and like I said, what happened to Jay, his super speed was absorbed. That's why Zoom's so fast.
So he's fattening him up.
Basically, yeah.
Right.
He's making him faster, so he can steal Barry's speed and take it. That's why Zoom is already faster than Barry, because he absorbed Jay's.
Right.
So the more he absorbs, the faster he is.
That's cool.
So yeah,
I like that. It was very Hansel and Gretel like. So
he's the exactly.
He's the witch.
But I mean, you saw Harry be forced into this deal that he can't not do it because it's his daughter.
I mean, when he brought Jesse out and he was like, "Oh, honey," and then he took her away, I was like, "Damn, you're wrong, man."
Well,
I can't wait to see who Zoom is.
I know
how they're going to reveal.
That's going to be a big reveal, and it's going to be really interesting to see who it is.
I have a really weird suspicion that it could be John Wesley Shipp, because I've seen that rumor
like
around.
Earth 2.
Yeah, Earth
2, John Wesley Shipp.
Yeah, but also that I don't know, maybe Wells somehow, or Reverse Flash Thawne did something with that temporal thing. I mean, he got sucked into it, but
maybe it's Eddie.
It could be Eddie, right? I mean, it could be, yeah, right. I mean, maybe what happened to him in Earth 2 changed him.
He did get pulled in. I mean, we don't necessarily know that he died before he got pulled into the anomaly.
That's right.
You never know.
Yeah.
Crazier things have happened.
Right. I'm excited, though. They're doing it well.
Oh, yeah. But also they have cast Adam Stafford has been cast in the role of Adam Fells, the villain Geomancer, who can create earthquakes.
Cool.
Which when I first saw Geomancer, my thought went to Geo-Force.
Oh, from the Outsiders.
From the Outsiders, yeah, exactly. But this is a villain called Geomancer. But he basically seems to have kind of the same powers as Geo-Force.
Oh, right, because it's seismic.
Yeah, seismic powers. So
cool.
So he'll be introduced. I think it was like episode 13 or 14 that he was going to be introduced in
this upcoming second half of the season.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How many episodes we get in this Flash?
24.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Yeah, it's 24. A standard season is 24.
That's awesome.
So yeah, yep. The Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a rumor running around that Kurt Russell will be offered the part of Star-Lord's dad.
I hope he's just like Jack in Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah,
he acts like that, but older.
I think that's perfect casting. I mean, it would be. I mean, granted, his dad is supposed to be some type of
mythical, like major. We thought Adam Warlock maybe.
It's possible,
right?
yeah. But having Kurt Russell playing it kind of feeds into Chris Pine. Not Chris Pine, Chris Pratt. I'm getting my Chris's mixed up.
Yeah,
throw Evans in there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the way his character acts kind of fits Kurt Russell too. He could pull that off easily.
Right. Big Trouble in Little China, Snake.
Yeah,
right. I mean, think about it. Yeah.
He should be full on Snake Plissken, the eye patch and the whole deal.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
That would be cool.
But that'll be interesting. I'm hoping to see that that is firmed up and he's signed for that role. That could be fun. And now you still haven't watched Supergirl.
I've not caught.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, because now, unless you want to pay for the CBS thing, and who wants to do that? I mean,
we did get cable boxes. Yeah,
okay.
we did. We got Time Warner gave us those free digital, basically the scramblers. You know what they are. So yeah,
I don't know if they're gonna do repeats.
They're in hiatus now, right?
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Yeah, they've done their mid-season finale. That was what was on this week, or it was this week.
Oh, they're late.
Or was it last week? I'm so confused now. I don't know.
Could be.
It was sometime.
It happened.
It happened.
It has happened. That's
when it
true.
happened, we're not sure, but it did happen.
Yeah.
But they revealed a lot of stuff. Non, who is General Zod's right-hand man, that is Astra's husband.
Who is Astra?
Astra is Kara's aunt. That is like the big bad.
Evil.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so they introduced Non as her husband, and I think they'd mentioned her husband before, but I don't believe they had said his name. But he's there, and he has they have something to suppress the kryptonite.
Oh.
They have a device on their chest that will keep them from being affected by kryptonite.
Wow.
So that is pretty useful.
They're pretty super then.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And can't be hurt by the kryptonite, which you see Martian Manhunter, who has now been revealed as Hank Henshaw, or the guy that we know as Hank Henshaw.
That was a really cool scene.
It was. It was.
They
very
did that
cool
really
reveal.
well.
And they're fighting, and he's got a kryptonite gun. And he shoots one of them, but it doesn't work. And the guy comes and grabs him up, and I think he punches him or something, and the Kryptonian realizes there's a little more here, and he's like, well, you're not human. And all of a sudden his eyes start glowing, and he goes, you're right. And he just wails on him. So this is the first episode where nothing broke for me.
Wow.
That's the thing that gets it. Like if it breaks me out and makes me think about what they just did, like a writing choice or something like that, it kind of aggravates me because I can't just sit and watch and enjoy.
And you've had that with every episode.
There's been at least one thing that just kind of made me go, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But this one did not have it.
But it's been little bit at a time.
It's getting better and better.
Yeah, this one was solid.
This one was solid. Yeah, this
Killer.
one was solid. So
all right.
I'm very happy now. And she squared off with the Kryptonians and Non specifically. And
Non's male or female?
Male.
Male.
And the end of the episode is the two of them just wailing, like slamming into each other and starting a fight.
There's got to be an image of this somewhere.
Yeah, I would figure so. But yeah,
was that Non in the original Superman?
Yes. Yeah,
the idiot guy.
He was lobotomized. That's
Oh.
the reason he couldn't speak.
Oh, okay.
He was lobotomized by the Kryptonians as his punishment. But yeah, that's if you scroll back up, that's him on the show.
Oh, wow, he looks good.
He looks pretty.
Oh, and that little strap on their chest is.
That's what.
And then the
keeps them
super symbol is it's on everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's that is their house code. When it's got the same diamond shape of Superman's symbol, but that S, it's not an S, it's the symbol of the House of L.
Oh.
And so theirs is different because it's a different family.
Gotcha.
So that's their family crest.
Oh wow! I got to see this. I got to figure out how to get this thing.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's making progress. And there was something that
it's just hard to find.
John Jones made mention of Superman, and I can't remember what it was. They said something doesn't work, and that's it. He couldn't read the Kryptonians' minds.
Oh,
he said I can't use my telepathy on them, and Kara's sister Alex says, so you can't use your telepathy on Kryptonians. He goes, no, I can't. Superman thinks that's hilarious. So it was kind of like a little drop that the two of them know each other.
Ooh.
So that could be interesting if we ever do get Superman on the show. I don't know if we ever will.
Well, you said you saw the blue blur.
You get yes,
and that's been it.
You get like a blurry the moment when she comes to Earth. All you see is like a blur of Superman like holding out his hand to help her out of the ship. Oh, wow. And then there was a spot when she was fighting Reactron as she was passing out. He got there. So all you saw was like a red and blue blur as he came by to fight the guy. Yeah.
Oh, it's cool. Well, then they got a whole season still.
Yeah, I think eventually we will get him, but they're going to hold it out for a little. And I don't think you really need to. That's one of the things they've kind of laid off on, which I enjoy that they're not doing is, but for a while it was like, oh, well, my cousin this and my cousin that, and it's like they didn't want to say Superman too much, so they kept saying my cousin, or your cousin did this, or he wanted you to know this. It was almost like they were avoiding saying Superman.
Sounds like the country version of Supergirl.
Yeah.
My cousin.
My cousin.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the way I say it. And Cat Grant knows that she's Supergirl.
Oh, she found out.
She figured it out.
Oh.
She didn't find out. She figured it out.
Oh.
How? Where,
like video or?
Because she's not stupid.
All right.
It was like, okay, you got upset when I named her Supergirl. Because Kara was like, why are we calling her Supergirl? Why shouldn't it be Superwoman? And she was a little too upset about it. Then when Supergirl was depowered, because she blew out her powers fighting Red Tornado, during the time that Supergirl was gone because she had blown out her powers, Kara had a broken arm. And she got a cold. And she said, you never get a cold. That's one of the best things about having you as my assistant. You never get sick. Because she's like not a germaphobe, but she doesn't want to get sick.
Yeah.
Because if she's sick, then the public is not being served because she's not there to do her job.
Please.
Oh, exactly.
She's really full of herself.
Oh yeah, she's very full of herself.
But does she do it well? The actor who plays her.
Yes.
Good.
Yes, and the whole thing was like she basically lays out all these different points, and Kara's kind of like, you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, take off your glasses, and she takes off her glasses, and it was basically just like you couldn't take her. That's one of the things that you can't really take seriously about Lois Lane. How can you take her seriously as an investigative reporter if she can't figure out that the guy next to her is
not
Superman?
Superman, yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and she, before they can even really talk about this, Kara's phone rings, and there's something she has to go deal with, and she goes, yes, by all means, I'm sure there's something you need to go take care of. And so she takes off. So that's going to be an interesting new relationship between the two of them.
I'm sure Kat will probably try and take advantage of her.
I can't believe that she wouldn't.
No.
But it'll be. I mean, she does realize that now her assistant Kara is a little more than that she seemed like. So that'll be interesting the way they do that and make their relationship after this.
Yeah, right.
That'll be something to look forward to when it comes back to see. But yeah, I'm glad they did that because, like I said, it would be hard to take her seriously as this reporter, one of the best reporters in the world, if she can't figure that out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So
well, that's cool. That's an interesting. They did that very fast.
Yes.
Right. Sort of revealing that she was.
They didn't waste any time with that.
No.
And they also name dropped. They didn't show him, but they name dropped Adam Foster, who is Cat Grant's biological son. He will be played by Melissa Benoist. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I don't know.
I think you're pretty close.
It's probably. But her real life husband, Blake Jenner, will play Cat Grant's biological son.
Is Blake Jenner like a Jenner kid?
No, he's not part of the Jenner family. But they're obviously about the same age. Is this going to be like a romantic thing on the show as well with Kara?
Well,
that could throw another monkey wrench into things.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, because you've got the strained relationship between her and Jimmy Olsen. They like each other, but Lucy Lane, Lois's sister, who he was dating, has come to town, and now they're rekindling their relationship. Ooh. Then you got Wynn, her friend who's in love with her, who she doesn't really have those feelings about.
Yeah, he's in the friend zone.
He's in the friend zone, exactly. Yeah. Not exactly like the Phantom Zone, but not far off.
Yeah.
So,
no.
So yeah, if there's another person in here that's a possible romantic thing, that could throw another monkey wrench into it. And monkey wrenches are great when you're writing TV shows.
Absolutely.
You want to see stuff like that.
That's right.
So.
I don't make monkeys. I just train them.
That's right. That's right. And a little news about Star Wars. Like I said, we're going to be talking about it constantly here.
Is there a spoiler here? Do we have to?
No spoilers. No.
All right, good. Go for it.
I haven't seen it yet, and B, I wouldn't do that anyway because I would,
you would
beat up somebody if they spoiled it. I would not.
Beat yourself
I'm getting better about that. The Force Awakens has made the American Film Institute's list of the year's 10 best films already.
How?
I don't know.
How did it earn that?
Because they didn't release. They were specifically saying we're not releasing anything to like the Oscars or anything like that. We're taking ourselves out of consideration for awards because we don't want anything spoiled. But it has premiered overseas already. Maybe they've gotten a copy of that, or maybe they're just going off of what has been said about it.
So do you have to enter contention? Do you have to enter the race for the Oscars? Or could you just make a film that's so good, and if you're like, and if they're like, well, no, it's really good.
No, I think they have to. You have to send off. You send out prints of your film to the people to the different nominators, and then they nominate the film.
I see. Okay.
So if they haven't seen it, they can't nominate it.
And is the nomination time over?
Yes.
Okay, so then there's no chance that Force Awakens could be an Oscar consideration.
No.
Okay. All right. I was just wondering if it was like
but
so good.
But AFI may be completely. It's not an award. It's something that they do, and they may just be going off of the fact of the buzz that's going on, and the fact that it's going to be probably the biggest film ever.
I bet.
Because of the amount of hype and the amount of sales they've already done before it's even premiered.
Yeah.
They may be going off of that. They may have seen it. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's the American Film Institute, so maybe they did get one because they can send one copy to them, whereas with Oscar nominations, you have to send out multiple copies.
How many? Yeah, 50 or so? Or?
I'm sure it's more than that.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's a lot. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's already on the list of the year's top 10 best films. And it opened to $14.1 million international box office.
Wow.
So it's already, that's huge.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't been open, 3 days? Or overseas, I don't think it's been open a day or two, maybe.
Wow. And it's not a weekend yet.
No.
Which is when people go to the
movies. We haven't hit the domestic opening weekend yet.
Man.
And that's where the majority of the money is going to come from. So it's going to be huge. It's going to be absolutely huge. And
Oh man.
the Star Trek Beyond trailer, I think, was originally supposed to be attached to Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
We said that on the show,
Yeah,
and then I
we
saw
talked
it
about
online, and I was like, "Oh, is it leaked?"
No,
That's
it's
what I
been
thought.
released. They released it already. Maybe
Midweek?
it will be attached to that as well,
I'm
but
sure.
it's been posted online.
Cool.
So you got to see it.
Yeah, you're Mr. Star Trek. What'd you think?
You can definitely tell it was directed by the guy who did Fast and the Furious, or one of the Fast and Furious. Like the
Justin
16
Lin?
Justin Lin is the
Yep.
director. It's loud and it's shouty. It's a little light on plot, and that's the thing that bugs me. Like, I want to know what's going on.
It looked like Star Trek Mad Max mashup.
Yeah.
Because they were in that kind
Yeah.
of world, that like a post-apocalyptic looking kind of world.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but this is a first trailer, so I'm not gonna panic, but I want to see more of the plot of what's going on, what's happening there. Obviously, Idris Elba is almost unrecognizable except for his voice under makeup. He looks phenomenal.
Good. Yeah, he looks good.
But his one line in the trailer, he's tossing Kirk across the room, and he says, "This is where the frontier pushes back."
Ooh.
So they're obviously, going out into space, and they're searching out new lives and new life forms and new civilizations, and apparently they hit one that doesn't really like them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And the whole thing is, there's a spot where Kirk is talking about, we're stranded, we've got no crew, we've got no ship. How do we get out of this? Doesn't show who he's talking to. So you don't know if it's Spock or if it's McCoy. But you also see a shot of McCoy and Spock on a planet.
Yeah, cornered by those flying drones.
Yeah, exactly. And then for some reason, Spock gets beamed out, but not McCoy.
Yeah, right.
Which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But
and then there's that new, the female character who we said looked like a Sith.
yeah, she looks
evil
like
Sith Lord,
one
right?
of the Sith Lords out of Clone Wars. I think it's Clone Wars or
I wasn't
Rebels
sure.
1.
Yeah, where it was from.
It's something animated. I remember seeing on the animated show that she looks very similar to something.
She kind of looks like Ashoka a little bit from Clone Wars.
Clone Wars, yeah.
Yeah, but she's a Jedi, obviously. But there's an evil Sith Lord who's got that white skin with the sort of markings, the black markings.
Which this character from the Star Trek trailer looks
just
almost
like
exactly
it.
like. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's Star Trek, so I'm in. I'll go.
Yeah.
But like I said, with the next trailer, I hope we get a little more plot. There was a lot of people online upset that they use Sabotage,
The Beastie Boys
the
song.
Beastie Boys song.
Why?
I don't know. I don't really mind that. It was used in the first movie.
Yeah, right. And the little
2009
Nokia
movie.
phone, right? When he was driving
in
as
the
a
car.
kid.
Yeah, it was when he stole the car.
Right.
Which, I mean, so that's kind of a connection to the original movie. And that's what the argument was. People were like, "Oh, why is that in there? It's ruining things." And the other people were like, "It's important to the movie." It wasn't that important to the movie, but I don't think there's any reason to be upset that they used that song.
No.
I mean, to me, I'm more upset that I didn't get a better idea of what the damn movie's about.
I mean, think about that first Star Wars trailer.
It didn't tell me anything.
And it was just touches,
Yeah.
like with the keys. It wasn't like
Yep.
the theme song.
That's
It
true,
was
and
just-
that's what I'm saying. It is just the first trailer, so I'm not gonna be really upset.
Yeah.
But the internet is a whole different thing. They can be upset about anything. So
the internet. Yeah.
stupid.
The tribe of the internet.
That's right. Yeah. But we also got the Independence Day trailer for the new Independence Day Resurgence.
Which I hadn't seen. I was impressed by.
That was when we first started talking about it on the show that they were going to do a new Independence Day. I was like, yeah, it doesn't have Will Smith. I don't know.
Right. We thought, it's going to be an awful.
Gonna be crap. Yeah.
But Jeff Goldblum's in it.
It looks
and he looks
really
good.
He looks good, and they have taken the alien technology and integrated it with ours.
Right.
So you see
Fighter planes
that have been souped up.
Right.
Mixture of the alien craft that we saw, and they know they're coming. They know that they're going to come back, so they're getting ready. And you have to. I'm interested to see how the world was left because it was pretty much in a shambles.
Yeah. They must have rebuilt. I mean, because we saw some of that new integrated tech, right? So it's like, and
they
Jeff
were on the
Goldblum
moon.
said, yeah, right.
They
He
were
said,
on the
well,
moon.
we've strengthened our world
Yeah.
because of it. Yeah, I guess there was that moon moment where something blows up and the two astronauts get sort of rocked. And
they also saw the mothership coming in again, and it's way
it's
bigger than the last one.
Oh man.
So I'm interested in seeing it now. The President Whitmore.
Bill Pullman.
Thank you, Bill Pullman. He's all grizzled. He's got like a full beard.
Yeah, he looks good.
He's got like, I mean, he's got to be like almost like a legendary leader now.
Oh.
I mean, he's not president anymore.
No.
But he's the one that got us through that and got,
and the big speech.
And the speech. Which, dude, I'd vote
well, he
for
flew,
him.
right? Because wasn't he a
did.
pilot? Yeah, he was an Air
fighter
Force
pilot.
Yeah.
And so he, not only did he rally the troops, he led them.
Yep.
He was in front of them. So that's like, I mean, that's John Wayne and George Washington all wrapped into one. I mean,
That's right. And Stephen Amell.
Exactly. So he's got to be like his legendary figure now.
Yeah.
Because it's obviously
years have passed. I wonder how much they'll have to identify that. Right?
Yeah,
20
I'm
years,
not
30
sure.
years.
I mean, it would kind of have to go with the kind of like
Age
Force
of the
Awakens.
actors.
Yeah, the age of the actors, because he's obviously much older. Like I said, the grizzled beard and Jeff Goldblum. Although Jeff Goldblum hasn't changed much at all.
He looks like he did in The Fly.
He did.
Yeah.
I mean,
by the way, our Superman in the 0 Hour story looks just like Jeff Goldblum in The Fly, by the way. Like, I was just sitting there like, where's that from? Where's that look from? And I'm like, yep, The Fly.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's an awesome movie. But also, there will be a new Deadpool trailer
Oh, my God.
released on Christmas Day.
Awesome. How can they get better than the
I don't know. I'm looking
Halloween
forward to see
with the kids was
was pretty
awesome
good. Yeah, it
piece
was
of
pretty
content.
good.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to that. So we'll get
Cool.
to see that. And G.I. Joe, Micronauts, Visionaires, Mask, and ROM, all Hasbro properties,
Yeah.
will join together in one cinematic universe.
Weren't we talking about Micronauts? Who created the Micronauts? That was like on our showcase.
Yeah, we did a showcase where one of the guys.
Was it Perez or Wolfman or something who
I
created?
think so.
Okay, but so they're all coming together in some way. You said?
I'm not sure whether it's going to be a animated cinematic universe or because G.I. Joe and Transformers already are live action things.
Right.
So are we going to have Mask and Visionaires and ROM have a live action and they kind of fold them into that?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. They didn't really say. They just said that. I mean, of course, now everybody wants to build with Sony wanting to do with it with Spider-Man, the X-Men properties. They want to create their world. Everybody wants to have a cinematic universe. So now I think they want to try to do something to connect all these because then it's just like crossovers in comics. If you connect them all and events in this one affect events in other ones, then you got to go watch that if you want to understand the whole thing.
That's true. And then and then you get the crossover dollars.
Exactly.
Which is the gimmick. The only thing I've seen that has any sort of connection with taking these 80s things together is this game Toy Soldiers War Chest. Mm-hmm. Where they've expanded it to be really great. So it was He-Man, G.I. Joe, and a few other things. I forget what's all in there. This is an older sort of thing here, but I wonder. They had some really great, and it was everything you wanted in one game, and you can run around this open world and just kill things, and it was fantastic. Cool. Okay, so oh gosh, Starbright, the ponies. Wow, they got some great stuff in here. I let me find out the better one of these. But this was the sort of first thing that I saw was a proper mashup. Was in a game world where it came together. So, but they're saying is going to be some sort of
some
TV?
sort of cinematic. I don't know. It just says cinematic. Like I said, whether it's animated or whether it's live action, and if it is live action. Is obviously going to be integrated into the already existing Transformers and G.I. Joe live action that we have, which I believe they're working on a third G.I. Joe.
All right. I'm excited by that. These were all at one time Marvel comics.
Yes.
Right?
They were licensed from Hasbro
To Marvel.
Yes.
Was Mask a Marvel
Yes.
comic?
Yes.
It was. Yeah, you sure?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I feel like I remember seeing it in the comics.
Yeah.
But I don't remember it's an acronym, right? MASK
yeah.
or whatever it stands for. Huh. I wonder if it
It's
Well, I guess they're going to have to see what they eventually do with this. I mean,
yeah, I'm interested to see what they can do with it, how they're going to do it.
yeah. So I remember the cartoon.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's The Mask, right? Oh, there's The Mask comic. It's DC.
But that's not the one, is it? No,
that's the original one from.
Is it?
That's Mask. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it is DC. I swear I thought it was
Was a Marvel comic?
I thought it was, but
yeah, Venom Invasion. Oh my god.
but that's not the same one. I don't think. I'm not sure.
It's the dudes with the helmets and the cars and the
Yes.
like the
Yeah, I remember the first issue had it looked almost like Darth Vader on the cover.
Yeah, that bad guy. I forget his name. Yeah, he's got the helmet that's got the gold visor.
Yeah.
He looked like Master Chief and Darth Vader in one.
They had a baby.
Yeah. And he wore like a Cobra Commander uniform type, a blue uniform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they do that. It's going to be even what it is.
Right.
So it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah. All right.
But Batman vs Superman released a new picture of Lex Luthor, and it looks like almost like something you'd see in Fortune 500 or,
nice.
it's like
a CEO portrait. Like,
he's standing here and like the corporate helicopters behind him and all this stuff. But they also released an infographic comparing the revenue of LexCorp, Cord Industries, Stag Industries, Queen Industries, and Wayne Enterprises.
I saw that. Yeah, with the buildings as a bar chart.
As the bar chart, exactly.
That was cute.
Yeah. So that kind of goes with the look of the picture being like something that would be in Fortune or something
totally.
like that.
Yeah, right. Like a journalistic type graphic.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But the production designer Patrick Tathalopoulos says thank you. Says that Doomsday is not the biggest threat in the movie.
What could be, right? We talked about this. What could be realistically? He
said that Doomsday is not the third act end all be all.
Okay.
So there's obviously something bigger.
So we got Lex Luthor as a villain, Doomsday, and you said you thought maybe
what's bigger than Doomsday but Darkseid.
Yeah, right. So the new gods somehow coming into the.
That's a possibility. Because that would be a bigger threat. So I don't know. I find that surprising that he said that.
Yeah, right. That would be a great reveal because Doomsday is like they've already made him a lurking in the wings character, which is cool, and that sets it up really nice.
Yeah.
But
if he's not, then that means Doomsday is almost bumped down the batting order to where he would have to be just kind of a bump in the road.
Right.
And that's
not cool.
That's not cool.
Yeah. Doomsday killed Superman.
Exactly.
Legitimately.
Yeah.
So I know who it is.
Who?
Per Degaton.
Mr. Mixelplix.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be awesome. Yeah. Per Degaton.
We need to make him say his own name.
Yeah. He's got to say it backwards.
Yeah, right.
This is stupid.
How could we do that?
And he got him to do it every time.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Jeez.
Good job, Superman.
All right, but that's a look at our movie and TV news. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take a spin of the comic rack.
But first, you will cross the Trivia Troll Bridge.
Oh, yes. We apparently have the Trivia Troll coming back. So we'll have that right after the break.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
Man, do I love card night. You ready, boys? You got a king?
Go fish Dad.
Oh, come on. This is WWE superstar Titus O'Neil. The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Your weekly dose of the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Now it's time for my my weekly shot to the pills. It's time for the
Welcome,
trivia troll.
Timmy D. It is me, the trivia troll. Answer my questions one at a time. I'm not going to rhyme
But you did.
today. Okay, so Timmy, today's in honor of Star Wars Day. We're going to do some Star Wars trivia because I like to dismantle you this way.
Yes.
We found a crack in the
You
armor
enjoyed
last
that.
time. You didn't even know Palpatine's first name.
It's
Give me your early ticket. It's mine now.
It's Ralph.
It's It's Tito. Yeah.
Supreme Chancellor Ralph Palpatine.
Right. I'm Naboo. All right. So we're going to start with a couple of questions about our friend Wedge Antilles.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, which hopefully you know something about.
A little bit.
All right. So a couple of questions here. So what planet is Wedge Antilles from?
He's Corellian?
He is indeed. All right. Yay! All right. Now, during the Battle of Yavin, what was his call sign?
He was Rogue 2.
That is
Red 2.
Red 2.
Red
That's
2.
correct. Yes.
Yes.
Good. Okay. So during that assault, right, on the Death Star, what type of ship did he fly?
X-Wing.
Perfect. Okay, great. What was the model of that X-Wing?
Holy crap. Oh. I have no idea.
Ooh. All right.
Wow. You got me on that one. So what is it?
TK421. We've got a broken communicator. It is a T-64B.
64B. Okay.
That is the model of that X-Wing. Because
Wow.
we got new ones in
That's true,
Force
yeah.
Awakens, so
Yeah.
we're going to see some new stuff. Okay. Now, during the Battle of Endor, what was his call sign?
He was Rogue Leader. I mean, Red Leader.
Good. Okay.
I don't know
good.
why I keep saying Rogue Leader.
I-
Rogue Leader, when they were on Hoth, they were the Rogue group.
Okay.
But Luke was Rogue Leader.
in the snow speeders.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. All right. This is a good one. This is a multi-part. All right.
Okay.
In Episode 5, can you name all the bounty hunters that Darth Vader enlists to track down the Millennium Falcon?
God almighty.
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ugh, I'm not going to be able to get them all, but I can get some.
Go.
It was Boba Fett, of course.
Mhm.
Bosch.
Mhm.
The droid was ED something.
No, not erectile dysfunction.
Think about that. I can see. it,
Skip the droid because you can't get
Yeah.
it. Who else we got?
I'm trying to remember them all. 'Cause this is one of those things that it never actually said on screen,
Right.
but you had to like.
No,
you
You had the figure, for example.
Um,
Think about the guy who's got like the cloth around his head.
I can't remember. I can't remember his name.
Okay.
I'm out. Yeah.
Oh, you're out.
Yes.
Yes.
I got Bosch and Boba Fett.
There you go.
The
All
other,
right.
Who's the other guys?
All right. IG-88 is the
IG-88,
android. Yeah,
yeah.
he's like that big stick droid.
Yep.
He's like
Yeah,
the
he looks like a
robotic
walking
Groot.
stick. Yeah.
With the Chewbacca cross thing.
Yeah, and the bandolier.
Dengar.
Dengar.
Yeah.
Which one was he?
Dengar was, hang on, let me see. Dengar. Yeah, he was the one with the cloth on his head.
Oh, okay.
Come on, Star Wars Wikipedia. Calm yourself. Okay, and then, right, you had Bosk.
Yeah, Bosk.
Or Bosch, yep. Then there's Forlom.
Orlom.
Yeah. I'll show you who that looks like. He was the bug guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The big bug droid. And then the last one was Zuckus.
Zuckus.
Yep.
Didn't he start Facebook?
It was Friendster. Yeah, he was another bug droid. They were like there was a fat one and then a skinny one.
Oh, okay.
And they were always together.
And
So
the Bosch or Bosk, however, that uniform was used on an episode of Doctor Who.
Was it really?
Yes.
Well, that's a starfighter.
Yeah, it's like, it was
X-Wing
used
fighter
by that specific uniform was from Doctor Who. That basically it was kind of laying around, and they went, "Hey, let's just use that."
Because it looks like an X-Wing
It
fighter.
does look like a Rebel Alliance suit, but yeah, if you look at it, it's it was used on an episode of Doctor Who as like some astronaut wore it.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good job, Timmy. You got Corellia correct, right, for Wedge Antilles is from.
Yes.
You got his call sign right, Red 2 during the Battle of Yavin, or Yavin. X-Wing, you didn't get the type of the thing correct.
That's some deep stuff right there.
Oh, we're going deep. Yep. And then Endor, you got that correct as well with
Yes.
Red Leader. So good job. All right, you got about 3 out of 5 here.
That'll do.
Pretty good. You're keeping your average. All right, Timmy G. You've crossed my bridge, but just barely.
Just barely, yeah.
Yes.
Almost
Let us
tripped.
spin your comic rack.
Let's do that. Let's spin the comic rack.
Meanwhile, back at the Cathedral of Wisdom, it's time for the comic rack. Hey, nice rack.
Knock it off, perv.
No, it's the latest news from the enormous world of comics. Right here on the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, in the comic rack, Marvel Comics will have a line of 25 Women of Power variant covers in March to celebrate Women's History Month. So all their big female characters, Captain Marvel, Squirrel Girl, A-Force is actually like a group of women. They're all going to have variant covers that are going to stretch across all the different comics that they put out.
Oh, cool.
So
Are they
it's
going
gonna
to be
be like
tasteful?
the-
I mean, it's Women's History Month. Let's not
I would hope
put
so.
a pinup babe
We're not
up
gonna,
there and be
we're
like,
not going to have a repeat of the Spider-Woman
right.
issue.
Yeah.
That was a little much.
The Jessica Drew, the leaning
Yes.
down one, right?
Yes, the Milos. I forget his last name. He's an erotica artist.
Oh God.
So what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was.
That wasn't what's his name? Cho. What's his name? Not David Cho. Frank Cho.
No, it was.
Phil. No, what's his name? Frank Cho.
It was Milos. Milo.
Ah, okay. This is the original. Yeah.
Milo Manaras.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was.
Wow. Yeah, I see.
It was a little much.
Yep.
So yeah, hopefully we won't have that. It is Women's History Month, so hopefully that won't.
Let's
that
try
won't
to
be a repeat of that.
Yeah.
In other girl power news, we talked about last week that DC will release a series that will go along with the Supergirl, a digital first series that will go along with the Supergirl TV show, like they've done about Flash and Arrow.
Yeah.
Now we have a name and a creative team attached to it.
Nice.
It's going to be called Adventures of Supergirl, and it's going to be digital, like Flash and Arrow are digital first, but like a couple weeks later they come out.
Yeah, you get a print issue.
This one is going to be digital only until like the trade paperback.
Oh.
So it's not going to actually be on like individual issues on the stands.
Interesting.
So and the writer will be a longtime Supergirl writer Sterling Gates, and he'll have a rotating roster of artists. It should be like the rest of them are weekly, so you usually have to do that with artists because there's no way they can get a weekly done.
No.
They can't do that.
Crazy.
They can't crank the whole one.
Yeah, weeklies are tough. Man.
Yeah, so they kind of have to have a rotating group of artists, which is kind of jarring because if you're reading it and all of a sudden the art changes drastically,
right?
It can be a little.
They better
a
just
little
keep
much.
the style guide.
Yeah, exactly. So, but that will start on January 25th.
Cool.
Superman and Green Lantern are both in March hitting their milestone 50 issues on their new series.
Cool.
So, of course, that's a big deal, and that's Batman the same way, and I think that's what we're leading back to with Bruce Wayne starting to get his memory back. I think 50 will see him back in the suit as Batman. But Superman and Green Lantern will both have huge things going on in number 50. They will meet up with their pre-Flashpoint versions
Seriously?
Yes. For Hal Jordan, that means he's coming face to face with Parallax.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
Because that's all there after Convergence.
Yeah.
That's all still there. And as for Superman, the pre-Flashpoint Superman is around with Lois as his wife, and they have a kid.
Yikes.
Because they were inside the dome, so he was essentially human for a year. So he and Lois were able to have a baby. And now he's growing up. The baby's growing up, which I'm sure at some point will exhibit superpowers.
Yeah, at some
his
point.
Kryptonian ancestry.
Yeah, right.
At some point he'll exhibit superpowers. But it's what's the name of the series? Superman, Lois and Clark, or something like that.
Superman and Lois Lane, or what was the?
No, it's
the newest one.
No, I forget what the name. I think it's Superman, Lois and Lane, Lois and Clark. I forget the name of the series. I read like the first issue, and they're almost kind of in hiding out in the middle of nowhere because he doesn't want to interfere with this Earth's Superman.
Interesting.
But something's going to happen to bring them face to face. He's got like a big old beard and everything. Yeah, it's like super lumberjack.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think at some point it's Jonathan is their child. He's going to start to exhibit superpowers. So something's going to have to happen there. But that will happen in both Superman 50 and Green Lantern 50. So that is both coming in March. So it's going to be a big month because pretty much all the series that were rebooted with the New 52 in 2011 will be hitting 50.
Interesting.
So,
wow.
Yeah, because all of them all started on the same month.
Right at that initial refresh.
Yeah.
And then I guess post Convergence has a few things refreshed. A new series started.
Yeah, there's some. I don't think there's specifically any new series there's some, but a lot of have already been canceled. Like Bizarro was canceled.
Horrible.
It was
Yeah.
horrible.
But like Dr. Fate, Black Canary
still going.
start back up. Telos is on. I've been reading that. Yeah, I'm on number 3. It's going okay.
Don't get attached because it just got canceled.
Oh. Why is everything I like on the block? On the chopping block.
That was like the next story that I was just getting ready to say.
Thanks.
Is the solicitations for March said this is the final issue of Telos.
Great. I'm glad I paid for it. I feel like a giant idiot.
Well, I mean, it couldn't necessarily have that long of a shelf life. I mean,
no, it'd be like if there was Anti-Monitor.
Yeah, you don't have an ongoing series.
Like, so you're a family man, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't really, perpetuate that for a long time.
Nah.
So,
but I think, like the way they did the sort of Convergence post-series where they did a few issues leading off that were 1, 2, 3, Convergence. Yeah, I think they can easily sort of say, okay, that's what this is, and goodbye.
And actually, I believe he's coming into some kind of deal with Parallax right before this Green Lantern 50. So you may get that like where he enters some kind of deal because Parallax still thinks, I need to remake the universe. He's still trying to do that.
Yeah, we'll see about that later. Yeah.
So he may try to get Telos to help him do that, and maybe that's what happens and gets him into Green Lantern 50 where they face off. Which it's funny to me because Green Lantern Volume 3, I think it was, number 50 is where Parallax was introduced.
Oh, wow.
That's where he went he went completely nuts and destroyed the central battery and killed Sinestro and killed Kilowog and pretty much everybody and all the Guardians and everybody else.
Wow.
And basically absorbed the central power battery into himself, and he became Parallax in issue 50 of volume 3. So this
came out when? When was that? 80s?
91.
Oh, so it was
92.
Just before 0 Hour.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense why.
Yes, it was like a couple of years before 0 Hour.
Wow.
And he had kind of disappeared. Parallax had kind of disappeared for a while before 0 Hour happened. So, so it's. I mean, it'd be interesting to see what happens in there.
All right. So R.I.P. Telos. Thanks.
Yes, exactly.
Yep. Great. Yep.
And from Marvel Comics, they have made a pretty big change to one of their biggest villains, Galactus.
What'd they do?
In this week's Ultimates #2, the team forces him back into into the chamber that birthed him. How they found that, I don't know, but I guess he has a ship that he travels in, so maybe that's what they're talking. I don't know.
It was like a thing he stood on. I always thought he looked kind of like Metron, right?
Yeah, well, he has a ship that he travels with, I think.
Really?
Or does he?
I always thought he was like out in space, and well, maybe
he just kind of hangs out.
Yeah,
but I feel like he has a ship of some type.
I guess he does. Yeah.
But it specifically says he.
And it's a Mobius strip.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
yeah.
Of course
it is. It's a giant Mobius strip.
Very Kirby-ish.
Totally Kirby-ish. Yeah.
But they force him back into the chamber, like I said, that birthed him, and they changed the energy in it using the character Spectrum uses his power to change the energy in it. When Galactus reemerges, he now seems to be on a mission not to feed on worlds, but to restore dead worlds with that same energy.
Wow.
So is he going back and restoring the worlds that he
Silver
destroyed?
Surfers
That was my first question.
Huge.
That would be my first question.
That'd be awesome.
He's going to restore, what was it? Ran? Was that the name of his planet?
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah. If he restores that, does he restore all the people? And if so, that would be Norrin Rad.
He wouldn't be a herald anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Zen-La.
Zen-La.
Yeah.
Okay.
Norrin Rad is the name of Silver Surfer.
Okay.
Real name. Yeah.
Yeah. If that's the case, if he brings back that planet and his family and everything, I mean, he's not gonna be Silver Surfer,
international superhero, an intergalactic superhero.
Yeah, but he would go home, but
yeah,
he's not going to return him to Norrin Rad.
Nope.
He's still the Silver Surfer. So it could be interesting for the Surfer if Zen-La is brought back and he goes back. Hey, cool, my family's back.
Sorry, I'm mad. I'm a metal guy now. Yeah,
you're silver.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Give me some sugar.
And there's surfboard for some reason.
Yeah.
You're in space. You don't need a surfboard. Why do you have one?
Do they surf on
Zen-La, maybe?
Yeah, Zen-La.
I don't know.
Is there oceans to ride?
Good question.
It'd be awesome. Yeah.
He's got a surfboard.
That's right.
For some reason.
But he was an astronomer.
Okay.
Silver Surfer. That's before he became the Silver Surfer.
Okay.
So I don't think he surfed. I don't think astronomers surf.
No.
Maybe.
I'm sure there's some.
Yeah, like the Hawaiian ones. Yeah.
Maybe. But that'll be interesting to see how that goes. And if, like I said, if specifically he goes back and restores worlds that he's eaten, that could be interesting.
That'd be very interesting.
So,
yeah.
And DC has announced a new anthology series called Legends of Tomorrow.
What's that about?
This is actually not attached to the TV show.
Come on, DC.
But they're all when I first saw it, I thought, okay, this is another digital first series that's going to tie in.
Totally.
But it's not.
All right.
It's a 4-issue anthology, and it will one of them will star Firestorm, and it's going to be a new member of the Firestorm Matrix with Ronnie Raymond.
Ooh.
They're going to be in a quest to save Jason Roush, who was at one time
Firestorm
in the Firestorm Matrix.
Yeah, with Stein.
So, but Professor Stein is mentioned, but not necessarily as part of Firestorm.
Wow.
So you'll have somebody else in the Firestorm Matrix with Ronnie Raymond. They'll be going to save somebody else who was at one point part of the Matrix.
Yeah. So
this could be interesting. But the other 3 stories, actually.
Oh God, really?
Yeah, this is gonna be
the Metal Men.
The other 3 stories are Metal Men, Metamorpho, and Sugar and Spike. Sugar and Spike is it's by Keith Giffen and artist Bilquis Evely. So if it's Keith Giffen, it's going to be humor.
It's going to be good? Oh, okay, it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Sugar and Spike.
Sugar and Spike. It's like a detective thing.
Sounds like Cloak and Dagger, like the
it's kind of
they
did a
cool.
new Sugar and Spike series.
Is this for real? This looks like a golden age.
No, that's not it. That's not it.
Yeah, DC
that's
Comics. Oh.
That can't be it.
I mean, these look like kids' comics.
It is.
Yeah, archived to Sugar and Spike.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
they had
crap.
Brave and the Bold. They did Batman and Sugar and Spike.
Yikes.
Looks like back in the 70s.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if Keith Giffen's doing it, then I mean, he's the guy who does is the mastermind behind the Justice League 3001
Okay.
that I love so much.
Yeah.
So, which is just wacky as hell. So,
These are like real chubby looking characters, a boy and a
little
girl.
Kids, yeah.
Yeah.
That'll
Oh,
be
boy.
interesting.
It looked like kind of like Hank Ketchum style art.
Yeah, it's like the Dennis the Menace. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I will
And I'm
see.
not sure now. Looking at it, it's saying there's 4 different stories, so maybe they're doing each like 4 different stories per issue,
Okay.
rather than a 4-issue miniseries and one per.
Okay, cool. So they'll do like an anthology, kind of like a an Action Comics or
Yeah, that
one of those.
may be what they do.
Okay.
Because when I first looked at it, I thought, oh, it's going to be 4 issues, and each one gets 1 issue.
But they'll do
But
a story.
They may do it to where you have all 4 stories in 1 issue.
That would be cool.
Pieces of it. So
That'd be cool.
I'd be interested to see Metal Men, not so much, but Metamorpho. I'd be interested to see what they were doing with him now in the New 52. I don't know if he was. He's been introduced in the New 52.
I don't know. Yeah.
So
He's certainly in 0 Hour, but
yeah, it'd be that was the 90s. So it'd be interesting to see what they've done with him. If this is going to be the New 52 introduction of him, it'd be cool to see because he was always a fun character. He was almost like the Thing to where he had these powers, but he also had the curse at the same time. He looked like a freak.
Horrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
3 colors, 4
Yeah,
colors
yeah.
he was, right?
And in the 0 Hour, at that point, he had like crystals growing out of him.
Yeah, I saw.
So
Yeah.
he hated it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, he's like, okay, I can't have a normal life. I can't have a wife. I mean, I don't want this. So yeah, it's a matter of like the Incredible Hulk thing. Guys who, okay, this is not cool for them. This is not like, hey, yay, I got powers and I can go do stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a curse. I don't want it.
Right, because he looks hideous.
Yeah, he
It's
looks hideous,
He doesn't
exactly.
get to. He's a drummer in the band. He doesn't get any of the ladies. Yeah. But the Metal Men, I always thought they were corny, you know. But then when I read 52, they were kind of awesome.
Yeah.
Because that doctor, whatever his name is, Professor.
The one was
Moore. I forget his name. Yeah, but
the guy
he
that did them.
and he had to like he had to take medicine, right, to like stay
because
from
he
being-
had, was it a split personality or was it
he would just
manic
become
depressive?
insane.
Yeah, and he took medicine to to like calm him down.
Yeah.
But that took away his genius.
And then I forget who it was. One of the baddies like made him.
Savannah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the gator. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they were.
who is it? Doctor what or Professor what?
Magnus.
Magnus. Yeah.
Will Magnus. Yeah.
He's like a good classic looking dude.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Interesting.
It'll be interesting to see the anthology and see Firestorm back in
Comics.
in the comics and see what's going on because I mean with him being on the TV show it'd be good to capitalize on that.
That's right.
And get him back into the good graces in the comics.
I'm surprised he didn't show up in Legends of the
Yeah,
crossover.
the crossover. Yeah,
I was
Me
wondering
too.
why. Yeah.
Yeah, they left to go do where were they? We're going. Some doctor could help them or something. They left to go to Philadelphia at the end of.
Okay.
No, that was when Ronnie was Firestorm.
Yeah. When did?
Then-
yeah, they
yeah,
went
where
to
did
go
they
do
go?
something.
I don't remember
Yeah, I
exactly
forget.
where we went. Yeah, but that'd be
Well-
cool. That's when you need your buddies to come by and lend a little super help. Is
Right.
you got a bunch of crap going on.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So, but also at the same time, you want them to be able to have stories and episodes where they deal with something rather than just always
Yeah,
calling in.
everybody calling the cavalry.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the kind of the thing with Ant-Man when he says, first thing we do is call the Avengers. But you don't want to necessarily just do that. You want to have a movie with just Ant-Man.
Right.
So, but yeah, so you don't always want them to come flying in to help out with their problems, but it's cool every once in a while. So.
I dig that. I did do that. Great. Yeah.
But that is a spin of our comic rack. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to explore the multiverse with our second part of our 0 hour.
How to be a great dad in 15 seconds. Bike ride, go fish, walk in the park, phone call, milkshake, play catch, picnic, fly a kite, tell jokes, laugh, talk, read a story, tell a story, bumper cars, swing set, bowling, pillow fight, cut loose, stay tight. Whew. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
I'm Cully Hamner, artist of The Question in Red, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. And now it's time to head for the Misty Borderlands because we're exploring the multiverse.
Now it's time to explore the multiverse. On the Ninja Troll Digicast.
All right, but this is our ongoing series exploring the DC Comics multiverse. We started way back when with the Flash of Two Worlds.
That's right.
And we've traveled all the way up through the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and now through the crazy, wacky land of Animal Man, the second Crisis. And now we're to 0 hour. We did part 1 last week.
Yeah, we did the Sum of All Fears, Sum Zero.
I was about to say, that was a Ben Affleck movie.
That was, yep. The Sum Zero, which is the sort of lead up, which came out of, I believe, it was Showcase 94, 8 and 9.
Yeah, that's where it started. Yeah.
And that sort of set up what this new crisis is, right? We sort of identified it as not a multiverse crisis, but more of a timeline crisis. Mm-hmm. So while Crisis on Infinite Earths and the previous Crisis stories moved sort of left and right in space, right, to go to alternate universes, this is going forward and backward through time. When we sort of last left...
we left our heroes.
When last we left our heroes... We had a big reveal that they sort of took the mask off. Well, Extant took off his own mask, right? So Hawk and Dove, right? It's a combination of multiple baddies. So Hawk absorbed the powers of Dove, became Monarch. That was a big mystery. And then in Showcase 94, then became Extant, right, by absorbing some of the powers of Wave Rider.
Yes.
And at the end of the issue number 3, because 0 hour counts backwards from 4 to 0, Extant took off his mask and then showed us that he was a duplicate of Wave Rider, and that was the big cliffhanger.
Yeah,
which was weird.
But we already knew he had absorbed some of his powers, so it wasn't that much of a reveal.
Yeah, I don't know why I don't know. Yeah, we're Timmy and I have not been impressed with this story as much as the others.
I remember reading it. I don't remember thinking it stunk, but upon further review,
well, in the context of everything else we've read, some of this is not the best story.
No, not at all. Yeah, not at all.
But there's some interesting things, like because
they did do some big things.
Yeah, right.
Because they aged the Justice Society.
Right.
So now they are actually the age they should be if they were around in the 40s.
That's right.
Because they kept them young magically. They kept saying that through magical means, they kept themselves young so that they could continue to be superheroes.
Right.
But they aged them to the age that they would be.
And some of them,
but even though after this, they still remained active. I mean, Starman passed the cosmic rod on to his son, so there could be a new Starman.
Junior.
Starman Junior. But I mean, Jay Garrick, he was still around up until Final Crisis and Rebirth. He was still active as the original Flash.
Yeah. But the only JSA member who was not aged was Alan Scott.
Yes.
But during the battle at the Vanishing Point, which is our new Misty Borderland, right, in time, he basically drained Alan Scott's ring.
Yeah.
So he couldn't do anything that he could have.
He basically said, I could recharge it, but why bother? He could just do that again.
Exactly. Yeah, right. It's going to serve no point. So now we're in part 3, which is issue 2.
Yes.
So as we're going, the sort of demarcation points aren't Earths now, but they're time, right? So we're counting down to 0 hours. So we're now currently at 12 hours and 36 minutes. So now the recently unmasked Extant explains to Wave Rider that they appear to be identical twins because he duplicated Wave Rider's powers.
Because every good villain explains.
In monologue, right? Exactly.
Explains to the good guys
Extant.
what he's doing.
Right. And then Extant leaves to coordinate his other machinations, right? These other things that he's getting going, so that his entropy wave can continue. He's now thinking he has to defend that. And Wave Rider has to transport the horribly aged Justice Society now back to Earth. Now 12 hours and 34 minutes in New York City. Metron, right? So we got some New God, Kirby stuff going on in here. Metron's been great. He's been a huge help.
Yep.
Metron helps the world's heroes deal with the descending city from the 25th century. So in the last issue, a city showed up on top of New York and was now starting to sink down on it.
Which makes no sense.
And they're trying to think, well, what can we do? Yeah, it makes no sense. Trying to think, well, what can we do to sort of stop this from happening? And everybody's coming up with just bad ideas. And Metron creates a boom tube.
That's what I was about to say. Well, okay, Metron is sitting on the Mobius chair. All you got to do is ask what they should do,
and it
gives you the answer.
Ding.
Yeah, ding.
Yeah, right. If it's worth its weight in salt, it'll have a ding.
Yeah.
And so he creates a boom tube that then the city goes in and they do it, right? And then Wave Rider now arrives and reports the most recent damage that Extant has done. Broken, defeated, and hospitalized, the JSA is forced to retreat from fighting. And they're all, so a couple folks don't make it.
Yeah.
In this issue, Dr. Midnight dies, which is one of the big deaths that we have revealed. So 10 hours now and 6 minutes. Having determined many of their problems are currently in the future, the heroes travel to the 31st century, accompanying the Legionnaires. Before they can find a way to combat the entropy waves, they are all confusingly attacked by the Team Titans.
Yes.
Which is the team that I guess Extant has created.
Yes.
To fight the folks there. So the Teamers are being controlled by Extant, who is earlier revealed to be their founder and mysterious leader, using their communicators. Because I guess they get reports from some person, and they're like,
they just didn't realize who it was.
And it's really Extant. Okay, so now 9 hours and 17 minutes ago, Dr. Mist is erased from existence in front of his acolytes.
I have absolutely no idea who Dr. Mist is.
And I don't know why he keeps coming into the mix. What does he even do?
He hasn't done anything. He doesn't. Yeah,
They're taking this opportunity to, I guess, get rid of him or something.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, the reason he doesn't exist anymore is that because he's immortal, and that the long ago time that he was born in is now erased from history.
Okay, so it's coming from both ends.
Both ends of the candle.
The far future and the far past are being eliminated, and it's coming towards 0 hour.
To the 0 hour, yeah, exactly. So the last boy and the first boy are gone. Yeah, they don't exist. Commandy and
Catan.
Anthro.
Yeah.
There we go. Good job. That will not be a trivia question now, because you know it. But now, 9 hours and 12 minutes ago, Alan Scott and Jay Garrick stay in the hospital with their friends. They are told that while Wildcat and Sandman will survive, the doctors weren't able to save Dr. Midnight, who came out of retirement, I think, to help them fight. So they were like,
kind of sucks.
We just got him back. And then Jay Garrick decides to pay a call to the Spectre and ask him for help.
No, he's not just asking for help. He's pissed.
Yeah, he's commanding
because he didn't help.
Right.
He's like, these are your friends, and you didn't come to our aid.
And Spectre was a JSA member, so
yes,
the fact
absolutely.
that the JSA got beat down so hard and he didn't step in,
so Jay's pissed.
Jay is pissed. He's old man pissed now too.
Yeah, he's old man pissed. Yeah, get off my
lawn.
Like,
I hate you, and you get off my
Spectre.
lawn. That's right. Yep. Give me a soda. So now Supergirl is trying to help Power Girl deal with her pregnancy, and she starts to feel like contractions. She's like, whoa, what is this?
And this is the Matrix Supergirl. This isn't Kara.
Right.
This is the Pocket Dimension Matrix Supergirl.
Right.
Which is basically like a shapeshifter that just takes her form.
Gotcha. Okay. But what seemingly is a contraction from the baby turns out to be a force field from the baby.
Which I don't even remember Power Girl being pregnant, so I don't know who the daddy is.
Yep, we don't know. Yep, we don't know. But it will play a role.
How is it that Extant's mouth can be seen through his mask? The 90s, that's why.
He got her. We can't show off the her if we got a mask.
You can't show he's gritting his teeth if you don't see him through his mask.
I know, it's just unchecked anger.
Everybody's constipated. It's the 90s.
It is. It's the 90s. Because you can say 90s through your teeth. Like the 80s, you got to say it, but the 90s.
90s, you can grit your teeth.
You got to grit your teeth, I guess. Yeah. Bill Clinton, it's just a bad time, I guess. Yeah. So now we're 8 hours, 9 minutes. Extant gloats over the linear men, Matthew Ryder and Leary Lee. That's how I found out who she was. I don't know who she really is, but she's a linear.
She's one of the linear men.
Yeah, who lives in Vanishing Point and controls time and is sort of a cop of time cop, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Nice.
Who now he appears to have trapped in some sort of stasis field. He criticizes them for observing time but never using their power they had to attempt to change it for the better. So he's like, why didn't you do something? I'm gonna do it. And yeah, he's crazy. Yeah. So now, for some reason, we're 10 hours and 6 minutes ago. In the distant past, a group of heroes, at the very distant past of 10 hours ago,
yes,
a group of heroes led by Nightwing try to help Wave Rider combat the entropy waves. But they are also set upon by a group of the Team Titans. Mm-hmm. And then Nightwing gets punched in the face. Huh? Yeah. Hey, guy, huh? Right, as he gets knocked out. He just gets punched.
Ponytail, Ponytail Nightwing.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Back when he had the long
hipster.
Ponytail. Yep.
Yeah, he'd be today. Man bun.
Yeah.
Man bun. After Nightwing guesses that the teamers are obviously being controlled, because nobody would just punch me in the face for that reason.
Of course not.
Extant shows up and attacks Wave Rider again, but appears not to have Wave Rider's powers, and is apparently a slightly past version of Extant, who recently confronted him. So now Extant's actually split.
So it's getting so confusing.
It's getting weird.
Now.
Yeah, it's getting weird. They rejoin eventually, but that's what's going on. I had to I was like, what?
Yeah, a little later you kind of realize, and you flip back and go, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. Because one Extant doesn't wear his mask, and then one does. Yeah. And then one looks like Wave Rider.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Wave Rider now is barely able to send the heroes back to their own time period before Extant strikes him down and absorbs him and his powers. And now the future Extant watches on as he does this. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Now we're 8 hours, 9 minutes ago. Meanwhile, in the 30th century, Metron believes that he has figured out how to stop the entropy wave using his Mobius chair, finally. And then Superman and Captain Atom team up to help him make the entropy collapse upon itself. So he says, well, the only way we can do this is if we make the wave implode.
Yeah, and open a boom tube in the...
Right.
In the thing.
Suck it open and go. Yeah. And then pure quantum energy ignites the chair, and a boom tube opens within the rift, turning it inside out. The weight of the time stream in the universe collapses, making reality's fabric whole once again. Now, Rock Kryn and the Time Trapper arrive to help the heroes return back to their own time.
And Rock Kryn, the Time Trapper is like an older version of Rock Kryn.
Of Rock Kryn, yeah. He must be pretty nasty looking because we don't see his face.
Yeah.
He's like always tattered, and he looks like Death from
Bill and Ted?
From Infinity Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what else we got here. So yes, that's fine. All right, so now we're 8 hours and 8 minutes ago. Now we're back in the present and in the 20th century, and the other heroes are still fighting the Team Titans. Warrior finds himself now manifesting new powers. He's able to sprout weaponry from his armor upon thought command, which is really cool.
Pretty cool, yeah.
So he makes a gun. He's like, it hurts like hell, but cool.
But it's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah. And then finally, the Team Titans disappear, and the heroes' interference in the 30th century has wiped out the alternate timelines that the Team Titans come from. So, cool. The heroes who are in the future return, including Terra and Mirage. The heroes are confused as to who those why those two exist, which Batgirl hypothesizes is because they were in temporal transit at the time. So now Guy Gardner wonders if the current time fluxes could be used to their advantage to bring back Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Elsewhere, Extant merges with his past self. So the other Extant comes back and he's like, hey, great job. Okay, let's merge. Wonder Twin Powers activate. And Shape of, let's angrily wonder how he could be failing despite his concrete prior knowledge of his success based on the previous trips to the future.
Even though I saw that it happened, I still can't get the job done.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm an idiot.
Come on, dude. You got to work it out. Yep. So we're in the... and then at the very end there, before we go to the next issue, a mysterious figure who's got black gloves and black feet in the 30th century now reopens the rift of entropy. And you'll see that just when after Extant here... Yeah, after he kills Wave Rider, back on page 18 of this issue, the Black Hand picks up Alan Scott's ring, right? And then it vanishes. And then later in the issue, right, we're sort of like, oh, well, why did that fix itself? You can see here that new Earth 30th century, and then a green figure shows up. So this is the 30th century after they blew up the Earth. Better open the rift again to make things happen correctly. Couldn't just let this vanish, drops his ring, but no sense in being reminded, smash, of a universe that will be no more. So it's really interesting. So we're going to see now who there's a bigger baddie going on. Okay, so now we're in the next issue. This is part 4. This is issue number 1, so it's a collectible, I suppose. And we got a lot of deaths in here, which is, kind of crazy. So now we're in Coast City. In 2 hours, 12 minutes ago, Warrior, Steel, right, John Henry Irons, Supergirl, and Batgirl attempt to escape the entropy, fresh from their own adventure through time. Now, Extant looks at the entropy and wonders how all of it could have been created without his knowledge. So the true hand responsible steps out and reveals himself. And that true hand... it's wonderful because the true hand is it's going to tear it up. It is Parallax. And Parallax tells Extant that he has been responsible for all of the chaos and blasts Extant into submission.
You shot him in the forehead.
Yeah, he just kind of creams him. That's pretty good. So that occurs, but now we shift 1 hour and 58 minutes ago in the 30th century. The Legion of Superheroes stand with their time paradox counterparts and the Time Trapper, waiting to be consumed by the entropy. They sacrifice themselves into oblivion so there can be another tomorrow. After the Legion is gone, Parallax shows up and murders the Time Trapper again. So this is the scene that we see in the very beginning of everything, of the whole. I think it's in the first issue. We see the Time Trapper just murdered at the very beginning, and we're all kind of like, huh? Why did that really happen? Sorry, let me get just past this Sum Zero thing here. Damn, this is a big story. Yep, here it is. So we can see here, right, the end of time, and then someone says, "Shut up, Trapper," and blows him away. But we don't see the green shot, right, which is what we sort of see now as being something
Parallax.
else. Yeah,
Hal
exactly.
Jordan.
It's Parallax. Hal Jordan. So now we're 53 minutes ago. Whoa, we're under an hour now.
Nice.
In New York City, Wonder Woman helps Power Girl through her pregnancy. And she says, I alone can help this natural act. Yeah, which is great. Heroes from the future like Impulse and Booster Gold begin disappearing as their times that they've come from have ceased to exist.
Yeah.
So now 40 minutes ago, Jay Garrick pleads with the Spectre to get involved in the crisis. As Garrick fades away, the Spectre realizes that there is a human hand coordinating the events and tells Jay that his death will be avenged.
So swears the Spectre.
So swears the Spectre. So we've seen now. Folks are dying. It's going to happen. Now we are 29 minutes ago. As chaos consumes New York City, Metron takes a select number of heroes to Vanishing Point to seek temporary haven where time does not exist and regroup themselves. So you're cool. F you, I'm out.
Guy Gardner and Batman are still sniping at each other.
Yeah.
Gardner says, "Hey, Bat Brain, why ain't you guys doing something?" He says, "Shut up, Gardner. Start moving civilians to safety now."
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, they're always just bitching at each other.
Yeah. Now, we're 24 minutes ago. Metron, along with Superman, Green Lantern, who is Kyle Rayner, Donna Troy, and the Atom arrive at Vanishing Point and find...
Darkstar, Donna Troy.
Yeah. Arrive at the Vanishing Point and find the Linear Men still in stasis. Lacking the ability to travel through time with the precision they require, they intend to convert Matthew Ryder, a man from the future, into Wave Rider, like his counterpart from another timeline was. So I guess Matthew Ryder is Wave Rider, apparently.
Yes.
Yeah. But that came out of chaos.
But it hasn't happened because it happened in another timeline. So they have to do it again, or
I guess.
No.
Things are getting messy.
Yeah.
Things are getting messy, which is we'll see. It works out. Now, Alan Scott and Starman preside over their injured friends in the hospital. Having grown too old to continue his career, Starman passes his legacy onto his son, David. Here you are, son. Take the Star Rod. The Cosmic Rod
Star of David
is yours. Wow.
Uh-huh.
Well done. Well done, Timmy D.
And there was another one, Jack was his other son, and he was like, better you than me. I don't want it.
Now, 13 minutes ago, finding them hiding in one of the last remaining pockets of reality, Extant brutally murders the laymen, who are basically the followers of Dr. Mist.
Yeah.
That matters for some reason.
But he just
nails
blasts them like Raiders of the Lost Ark. They get melted.
Melting zombies. Yeah, right. Now we're at 7 minutes and 34 seconds ago. Extant shows up in New York City and confronts the last heroes left alive. Batman is killed as Entropy Fisher opens right up on top of him. As the heroes prepare a last stand, the new Wave Rider shows up to fight Extant. The Atom tries to get inside Extant's head by shrinking down, but instead is aged backwards to 18 years old. Okay. Superman engages Extant as well, but the mastermind behind the entire crisis now reveals himself to everyone. So at 60 seconds, it is now Parallax. So Parallax announces...
I have giant shoulder pads.
That's true. That's right. Yeah. And that he's now engineered everything that's gone on, believing that the time stream is not right, and it has to be changed. But to recreate the universe, he must first obliterate it. And we get an awesome set of white pages.
This was actually well
cool.
done. Yeah, it was very well done because he basically wipes everything clean, destroys everything. So we have like 3 pages.
Yeah, just about of white,
but
almost
white.
4. And then there's a just green pop-up text says, "I used to be the errand boy for the Guardians of the Universe. It was a thankless job."
Yep.
I knew that I had never asked for anything. The one time that I did, I was denied. He's mad.
Yeah, he's still a little pissed about that.
A little bit. Yeah. And now in the new issue, which is 0, the final hour.
Yes.
Parallax explains his plan to some of the last remaining heroes, because every bad guy's gotta. Yep.
Got to.
Now Batgirl, Guy Gardner, Alpha Centurion, who's this guy?
Yeah, I don't remember him at all.
I didn't even know he was there. I was just like, oh, hey. And Triumph, who's that? That Triumph right there? Okay, Triumph, the comic dog, the insult dog. Let's see. To recreate a better universe for everyone now that he's nearly destroyed everything. He developed his great new powers by absorbing residual energies left over from the defeat of the Anti-Monitor in the first crisis. He journeyed to the end of time, where he harnessed entropy and used it to weaken the link maintaining time's perpetual loop. Now back at Vanishing Point, Wave Rider, Superman, and the others try to think of solutions to this crisis. Also gathered are Captain Atom, Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern, Hawkman, The Ray, Leary Lee, Donna Troy, Darkstar, Green Arrow, the Atom, and Damage. Right now, it's pretty cool that Green Arrow's here, because this is going to mean something with Hal around.
It's a pretty big deal because the two of them were, best
teammates
of friends
forever. Yeah, right. When did that Denny O'Neil? Okay, so the 70s.
Yeah.
So Wave Rider now believes it would be possible for them to recreate time themselves using the complete records kept by the Linear Men. So at Vanishing Point, there's the ability to recreate things. Now, Parallax begins to recreate the universe in his image, beginning by removing the destruction of Coast City, which is what, if you look back in time, is what set Hal over the edge to go just kill everything.
Yep.
So he also plans to resurrect the Green Lantern Corps, and he even considers setting up alternate Earths so that individual heroes can be happy on their own worlds.
You have your own place.
We're going to rebuild the multiverse. Thanks, dude.
Yep.
Before he can make any serious changes, the team from Vanishing Point arrives, and Parallax is blasted by Wave Rider. As they hold their final confrontation, Parallax argues with the group, maintaining that they are all so short-sighted, and his killing of billions of people was justified in the name of a better world. Coming from alternate timelines, let's see here, and having been convinced of the value in Parallax's goals, Alpha Centaurian and Batgirl join Extant to fight at his side. To confront Parallax, the Spectre himself arrives, and the two of them begin to duke it out in a fight of cosmic proportions.
It is a big one.
Yeah, I love the chains. It's really? Like, you really think that's going to help? Yeah.
Well, they're not just... He didn't get those at Home Depot.
No?
Those are
like Lowe's brand.
Yeah.
That's Black Hawk hardware right
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
They're serious.
Justice will not be denied, says the Spectre.
That's right.
So they're fighting, and while Parallax is distracted, Wave Rider has the other heroes he gathered follow his carefully laid out plans. Okay, stray energy is drawn from the fight by those capable of absorbing it, and using Wave Rider as a conductor is channeled into Damage. As Parallax is about to kill Damage, Batgirl dives in the way and sacrifices herself to save him. So this alternate reality Batgirl, who's walking and not being Oracle, is killed.
Yeah.
So she's conveniently removed there. Now, Kyle Rayner comes up from behind to grab Parallax just as Green Arrow resigns himself to putting Parallax down once and for all. Green Arrow shoots Parallax through the chest and kills him.
That is a great little series of panels. You close up on Ollie's face, and he's no, and then very close on his up on his hand, getting an arrow, pulling it back, and
Hal saying Oliver.
Yeah.
Yep. And then he goes Hal,
and he lets go.
Yeah.
And just right through the heart.
Shot to the heart. You're too late. Dang. You give justice a bad name.
That's right.
Yeah. So pretty cool plan. Wave Rider kind of redeems himself here, which is kind of nice. Now, satisfied that justice has been done, the Spectre deliberately pumps more energy into Damage until he is unable to control himself. Filled with an overwhelming amount of energy on both cosmic and biblical scale, Damage explodes and creates a new Big Bang. Wave Rider and the other heroes, having barely escaped by being taken outside of time and becoming anomalies themselves, overlooked the new universe. So I guess, they kind of became energy and are watching. So that's cool. Displaced characters like Alpha Centaurian and Batgirl's corpse now fade away because they no longer exist. And Extant simply leaves. So Wave Rider has everybody
still grimacing.
I gotta go. I got a thing to do. Okay, that's interesting.
And Ray Palmer's still 18 years old.
Yeah, that's all right. I wouldn't mind that. I'd like to be 18 again.
Yeah.
So Wave Rider has everybody safely reinserted back into the moments in the time stream that they came from, and the world is completely back to normal. All of the deaths caused by temporal anomaly are reverted, although those who died of natural means now remain dead. And Wave Rider explains what happened to those who are confused. In the meantime, in the midst of all the death, Power Girl has conceived an infant child, which is a boy. What did they say a name of the boy?
No, I don't
Baby
think so.
Boy. Yeah. Did you see Guy Gardner without his armor?
Yeah. He now. Yeah, that's the change for Guy. His armor is gone. Now his armor is part of him. And he's has markings almost like a Native American.
Native American, like a warrior.
Yeah,
like a brave. So Power Girl has the baby boy, And then Green Arrow is now mourning the death of his best friend, Hal.
And he goes and breaks his bow.
Yeah,
that
right.
was pretty cool.
That's huge. And you see sort of a little phantom image above this statue here of them from their series, Green Lantern and Green Arrow from back in the day. And now the Linear Men go back to Vanishing Point to continue their arduous tasks. And the Time Trapper, consistent at the end of time, presides and ponders over the events. And that, my friend, is where we just end this. And what's cool is at the end, DC published this sort of really fun timeline, which is basically a timeline that sort of coincides with what Marv Wolfman and George Perez did with that DC Universe history.
Of the DC Universe, yeah.
But it's cool because it's got like some information and time, and then sort of like pictures of the characters and all of those different things. So it's pretty cool. So all right, so all in all, not the greatest story. I'm not sure what they did. It seemed like it was a cleanup for the JSA in a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know why they kind of brought Batgirl in for a second, maybe to test the waters on that.
And therefore, they showed a Robin, the old school Robin.
And they didn't do anything with it.
Never brought him back. So I would figure it had to be Jason Todd, which opens up some interesting stuff, just like Batgirl.
Right.
Being from another timeline, and it brings up some interesting stuff, but they never followed through on it.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's a lot of things going on here, so. But yeah, it'd been nice if they'd went back to that, because you saw him in the first issue watching Batman and Tim Drake.
Right. Lurking. Yeah, you pointed that out. I didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
And it never came back up.
Yeah.
That I noticed, at least in the story. But Batgirl is gone. This is her final appearance. She dies. In the previous issue, Steel, Jay Garrick, Booster Gold, Batman, and Impulse died, but they died because of temporal stuff.
Yeah.
And then we got somebody called Jack Knight.
Jack Knight.
Was that what's his name's son?
No, he didn't die. I don't think.
What was the first appearance of Jack Knight?
Oh yeah, first appearance that would be Starman.
Okay.
The new Starman.
And then the only other Dr. Midnight dies.
Yeah. But they all died from natural causes.
So they're done. Yeah. And then same with Batgirl.
Yeah.
She was killed, and then the Teen Titans, we won't ever see them again.
Yeah.
That's their final appearance.
Yeah, that's good because it wasn't that great of a series.
Yeah. So Tim, this was
not.
This wasn't great.
Yeah, and I remember when it was a big deal. The biggest thing that came out of it was Zero Month.
Yeah.
Where every series had a issue 0 that came out.
Yeah.
And it was either a retelling of the origin story or some element of because Batman had like 4 different series that were going on, so you didn't want to redo the origin story in each of them.
Right.
So they did little different elements of the character in each different one. The same thing with Superman. He had 4 different series at the same time.
Good Lord.
It was for Batman. It was Detective, Batman, Detective Comics, Batman, Shadow of the Bat, Legends of the Dark Knight. It was all 4 going at one time. And
Dangarang.
Superman was Action Comics, Superman, Adventures of Superman, and Man of Steel. All 4.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, at this moment, we are coming close to the end of our Crisis adventure. So next week we're going to have our end of the year.
Next week we won't be here because of
the
Christmas holiday. Yes.
But next episode, right, will be just before the end of the year. We're going to do our end of the year wrap up. So we'll do sort of a look back on Crisis and just sort of catalog everything that we've done, deaths, Earths, all that stuff. It'll be a lot of fun. But then when we come back in the beginning of the year, we will be doing Crisis times 5. And then after that, we'll have Countdown to Infinite Crisis, The Infinite Crisis, and then Final Crisis.
Now, Crisis times 5, is that the Thunderbolt?
This is, the JLA and the JSA fight an invasion from the 5th dimension.
But the JSA they're all old and... Well, but they did have a JSA series that went on, so they had new members.
Okay.
That's when, like, Liberty Bell and Stargirl...
came back.
Yeah.
Cool.
So they were part of it. So I do remember they had an ongoing series in the 90s.
Well, this will have Kyle Rayner in it, and then we're gonna let's see. So it says Yeez, who's the magical thunderbolt partner of Johnny Thunder, is accidentally passed to Jakeem Williams by Jay Garrick while signing autographs.
Oopsie. How's that happen?
Comic-Con, you never know. Who accidentally discovers its powers. Meanwhile, wow, this is kind of complicated. So this is Yeez Leaks. Yeah, we're gonna. Mr. Mixelplick makes
nice.
Makes an appearance. Captain Marvel will be in this as well. And then Quisp. Quisp? I don't know who Quisp is. Yeah. And then of course we will have an appearance of the Spectre, who will help.
Which I think at that point, the Spectre was Hal Jordan.
Oh.
He was attached to the Spectre.
Wow.
Because when he died, his spirit then became the Spectre to atone for what he had done.
Okay. So serving.
So So that may this Spectre that shows up in this next one may be him.
And this is in JLA, right? Not Justice League of America, but the JLA series.
Okay. Yeah.
Which like Volume 5 or something. So we're going to talk about that, right? We haven't seen a Thunderbolt story in a while.
Yeah.
So that should be interesting. But then we'll have, over the weeks after that, we're going to be looking at the real big Crisis stories, the real epic ones.
Yeah.
Infinite Crisis and Final.
The sequels to Crisis on Infinite Earth, Infinite Crisis, and then later Final Crisis. Those are actually the Crisis trilogy is what they refer to them as.
So Jeff Johns is on Infinite Crisis, and then Grant Morrison wrote Final Crisis.
Yes.
So that two amazing authors.
Oh yeah.
Who are going to be just killing it. Yeah.
So the Final Crisis will be a little wacky because it's Grant Morrison.
So this has been your bartender at the Misty Borderland Lounge, a.k.a. Vanishing Point.
Vanishing Point now. That's our new.
That's right. We're under new management. We're under new management.
That's our new hangout. So that's our Exploring the Multiverse segment. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to have our showcase segment on the lightsaber.
Our hailing frequencies are always open. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Just search Ninja Troll Digicast or drop us an email at ninjatroll@digitaltuxedo.com.
So, I'm a dog, and I'm kind of new to this family, but I've noticed a trend. My humans do this thing where they go around and get all my toys and hide them in this basket, but it's always the same basket, and it's always the same place, and then they act so surprised when I find them, but I'm like, hello, that's where you put it last time. Humans are the worst at hide and go seek.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
Hi, I'm John Carter with WBTV News, formerly of Off the Wall Comics, and I am big into geekdom and comic books, and you're listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast, the only podcast with a kick.
All right, welcome back to the Ninja Troll Digicast. That was John Carter. Like he said, he used to own a comic book store that myself and Chuck Charles frequented in Lincolnton. We ran into him at Heroes Con this past year.
Nice.
So we had to he had to thank us for the mortgage payments that we paid for him.
Yeah, weren't you guys shareholders?
Yeah, we should have been. And also, a little news of upcoming events that we're going to be at the end of January, January 30th.
Mm-hmm.
We will be at the Heroes Mini-Con at the Grady Cole Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll be there with a table. Also in February 20th, we will be at the Morganton Comic-Con in Morganton, North Carolina.
Yep.
And on April 30th, we will be at HickoryCon. So we'll have all those dates. We're going to put those dates on the Facebook page and the website, NinjaTrollDigicast.com as well. So that way you can know where we're going to be and come visit and come out and support really cool Comic-Cons wherever they're at, because it's a lot of fun
in this area. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a really great time. It reminds me a lot of the 90s, although it's even bigger. It seems like it's even bigger now because
Don't say that.
you had Heroes Con, and that was still about it.
Wow.
But and that was in the 90s boom.
Oh, so it was.
So
killer.
this is to me it's very reminiscent of the 90s boom.
Nice.
And but it's like I said, it's even bigger because now you have the movies are becoming huge. So more and more people are getting into comics. Even the ones that don't read the comics will come.
Still love the heroes.
They love the heroes, and they'll come and they'll look for the statues. And it's something we were talking about before we even started the show. I was looking at some of the DC collectibles that they've put out. The Deathstroke statue looks
awesome,
and I need it
so
very
much
badly.
detail on it.
So much, yeah, exactly. So much like damage, like battle scarring on the armor and everything.
Like the paint would come off, the orange on his shoulder pads and stuff.
And just stuff like that. It looks absolutely awesome. So somebody that's into the TV shows or the movies and not necessarily the comics can still come and see stuff like that and really get into it, and all the people in costume and everything.
Almost everybody is.
Yeah.
It's like I feel weird not being in it
Not
now.
being in costume, exactly. Yeah. So they're a lot of fun, and let's take advantage of it while we have cool stuff like this going on. So
and one other thing we got going on right here on our campus here at Queen's University, we're gonna have an amazing art show called Pencils and Pixels, and that's gonna run from January 11th to February 12th in our Watkins Gallery, the Max L. Jackson Gallery in Watkins Building. So our opening reception for that will be a traditional reception with, art on the wall, wine and cheese. Hello. That'll be January 14th between 5 and 7 p.m. That'll be a fun event, catered and all that great stuff. But then on January 28th, just before Charlotte MiniCon, it'll be that Thursday, we will have a Comic-Con style event evening where we're going to invite the public, and we're going to have all of our artists, our participating artists, set up tables where they can just draw, sell prints, do whatever, and just interact with the public in an art gallery. So we're trying to sort of bring that magic, like you say, like while the iron's hot, into an academic setting, so we can just talk about it for hours.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So the 14th is the opening reception.
Yep.
And the 28th will be the Comic-Con style event.
Yeah, they're both Thursdays.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was looking to see what day of the week it was.
Yeah,
cool.
So that should be fun. And we got some, and it's all local talent.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have some pretty awesome folks coming in. We'll release the list, of who our artists are, and I think that's just gonna make people go nuts because there's some big time players.
Yeah, it's good stuff. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right, well, that's a look at some of the things that are coming up. Now it's time for our showcase segment.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ninja Troll Digicast proudly presents The Showcase.
All right, now it's time for our showcase segment where we shine the Ninja Troll spotlight on a different subject each week. This week, because today is the day of days where we get our new Star Wars movie, our showcase is on the coolest weapon in cinematic history.
Yeah, the most iconic weapon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Besides the gun, right?
Yeah.
In the Western. Yeah.
The lightsaber. Before George Lucas made Star Wars, there's several instances in literary form of like energy swords being used.
Yeah.
The first one was Edmund Hamilton's story Kaldar, World of Antares in 1933.
Oh.
It was in 33, but it was reprinted in 1964 in Swordsman in the Sky science fiction anthology. Cool. So in the 60s, when George Lucas is growing up,
right,
he could grab a hold of it and read it. Fritz Leiber, his novel Gather Darkness in 1943, featured priests that used rods of wrath that were energy projections that only end where they cut into solid matter. Oh. So when they would fight with them, there would be untold destruction and death around them because it doesn't stop until it hits something.
Damn.
Yeah, people can be...
So that hurts.
Yeah, people can be laid waste all around them. Then in the 50s, the series started in 1952 specifically, but Isaac Asimov's Lucky Star series featured a force blade, which was a short staff of stainless steel that projected a force field that could cut through anything. Asimov also had a penknife with a force field blade in the Foundation series, and that was in the 40s, I believe, is when it started. So he had kind of played with that idea.
Cool.
Then in 1971, in Larry Niven's, actually in 1970, sorry, Larry Niven's Ring World, the character Louis Wu uses his flashlight laser as a sword. So kind of the same concept there.
Nice.
And in 1971, M. John Harrison's The Pastel City, the energy bond or swords are used by the Methven, an order of knights sworn to protect their empire.
Oh,
sound familiar?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
The biggest inspiration, however, was the serials that George Lucas would watch, where it was swordsmen. They used, and he wanted to come up with a way that they would be able to use swords in space.
Yeah.
And actually, the original original concept drawings that Ralph McQuarrie did, and the original draft of the script, it was like an everyday weapon. They all used it. But then in a later draft, the Jedi and the Sith became like a specialized, almost like tribe, to where they had special powers. So the energy swords became theirs,
thing. Yeah.
their thing.
Right.
And they had to be, specifically, you had to have specific talents to be able to use them.
Okay, so it wasn't just like anybody old.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just not anybody could use them. And that's something that was always talked about, that Han Solo, when he used the lightsaber to cut open the Tauntaun, it's for somebody who's not a Jedi to use one of those is a rare thing. So the fact that he used it and was able to turn it on, use it without cutting his own head off, it proves that he is Force sensitive. So the luck that he always has with him,
right, on the Kessel Run,
is not necessarily luck. It's more the Force. He actually unconsciously is a Force user.
Did you know? Do you know what the internal temperature of a Tauntaun is?
Lukewarm.
Yeah.
I love that joke. But the original film, the prop hilts, not the hilts, but the actual blades themselves, were constructed by John Steers from old camera flash battery packs, and the rod was coated with Scotchlite retro reflector array, like is used for highway signs.
Oh,
so that they could use that, and in post they could
just draw the saber on it.
And use that as a visual effect as well.
Cool.
And then later, of course, like in a prequel, and I think maybe in Return, I don't remember for sure, but it was all CGI. They just added that in later.
Right. But the original, they painted them, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
on the film.
But a lot of the light, you can watch them in the original in A New Hope, when Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are fighting. Yeah. You can see at different points that it's just a stick.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes away. They should have added a little more.
Well,
So, but hey, they didn't have the money. So. The handles were made by set director Roger Christian out of handles for a Graflex flash gun for a camera. Oh. It was like a specific attachment for a flash. So he took that hilt and basically doctored it up. He added cabinet T-track to the handles and this is a new word that I learned, and other greebies or surface details.
Oh,
apparently
that's what a greebie is.
That's a greebie, yeah.
How do you spell it?
Just like greenie, but with a B.
Oh,
greebie.
Nice.
I never heard that word before.
Yeah, that's a cool buzz, industry word.
Like the little stuff,
little features.
Doesn't necessarily do anything. It's just a part of the design.
Cool.
That's called a greebie. And you learn something every day.
That's fantastic.
Welcome to the Ninja Troll. The sound was developed by sound designer Ben Burt as a combination of the hum of idling interlock motors in an old movie projector and interference caused by a TV set on a shieldless microphone. And he was looking for different like buzz and crackle sounds, and almost kind of by accident ran across the fact that he had a microphone passed by a TV set, and the noise it made, he was like, wait, that's a pretty good sound.
That's awesome.
But that's specifically the movement sound.
It's the microphone.
No, that was actually the pitch changes of the movement was done by playing the basic sound on a loudspeaker and recording it on a moving microphone to get the Doppler shift effect.
I was gonna say maybe a Leslie or something would have been like an old organ Leslie motor.
No, yeah,
a spinning
they
speaker.
specifically they set a speaker and then like moved the microphone around.
Wow.
When they recorded it.
That makes sense.
So yeah,
Yeah,
so
that's
you
great.
got that you got the Doppler shift to mimic the movement to match what was going on the screen.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's little stuff like that, and we were talking about the blaster sound they used to hit guy wires
for big T-towers, right?
Yeah,
Electric
they'd take a
towers.
wrench and hit the guide wire and recorded that, doctored it a little bit, and that was the blaster sound.
That's awesome. That makes sense.
And if you listen, there's thrown in every once in a while. There's a sound of an actual pistol. Specifically in A New Hope, when they're when they're on the bridge that they can't get the thing extended and he has to throw the rope and swing
across.
over.
Yeah.
Watch that scene, and there's several times you can, when he's shooting at the stormtroopers up above, there's several times you can actually hear a pistol go off.
Oh, I'm gonna listen for that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. It's weird stuff like that's thrown in, and you don't even really.
No,
think
there's so
about
much
this
action.
stuff
It's momentary. Yeah.
But that was like the background of how they made them and how they came up with it. The actual, I guess, fictional history of them. The lightsabers are hand built as part of a Jedi or a Sith training regimen.
Oh, cool. So this is the sort of the lore history.
This is the lore history,
That's great.
from the movies.
Cool.
Because like in Return of the Jedi, that was the thing. Darth Vader says,
"You've constructed a new
You've constructed your own lightsaber.
Yeah.
Your training is complete."
Yes.
Because that's the last thing they do. They make their own lightsaber.
And you don't ever see him make it, which is it's
No.
in the novel. You can read that he cooks the crystal. Well, you tell us about that.
Yeah.
How that goes. Yeah.
And that is the only place that's mentioned actually. I looked for that, and it's only mentioned in the novelizations of the movies. That him cooking the crystal, and that changes the color and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But that is mentioned in the novelization of, I think, Return of the Jedi or maybe Empire. I don't remember which.
Okay.
But yeah, that's part of their training. That's like the end of their training, and therefore each one is kind of unique to the knight who built it. Although many of them are similar, like Obi-Wan, like Anakin's is going to look like Obi-Wan's because he's the one that trained him, and he kind of wants to be. You always want to be like your dad,
Yeah.
so you're going to make the lightsaber looks like him. So, like Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Luke, they all kind of look the same.
They're blue.
Well, actually,
Luke's is green.
Luke was green
Jedi.
in Return of the Jedi. Yeah.
Qui-Gon's was green too, right?
Yes,
I believe.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. But there's several different types. Most can be used both one-handed or two-handed. As a matter of fact, you see them switch that a lot of times.
To go from kendo to more of a loose foil style.
Exactly. Yeah. Depending on what they're doing or who they're fighting.
Mhm.
The standard lightsaber is a straight hilt, approximately 20 to 30 centimeters long. Those are the ones that we mostly see, like Luke's, Anakin's, Obi-Wan's. Those are all standard ones.
Yeah.
The Shoto is a short-bladed one that can be used either as a secondary blade or by a shorter Jedi like Yoda.
Cool.
So his is actually shorter. You don't really notice that it's shorter because it's Yoda.
Yeah, I guess it's sized appropriately.
Exactly, yeah. Now, the curved hilt used by Count Dooku is a fencing blade.
Ah.
That's why it's specifically curved like that. It's a different style that's used for fencing.
Awesome.
Then there's also the light club, which is a larger version used by, just like the Shoto is used by shorter Jedi. The larger ones, they're considerably larger than humans, use a light club.
Huh.
It's longer than, it's like basically like a bastard sword or something.
Blade,
like that.
yeah. Or like a broadsword.
Yeah.
Type of, yeah.
Actually, no, broadsword would be about the size of the regular lightsaber. So, a larger one would be like a bastard sword, like a two-handed bastard sword.
Is that what it's called?
It is. It really is. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The largest sword is called a bastard sword.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's like the claymore that in Braveheart,
Yeah.
The big gigantic sword that he uses in that.
Right.
That's a bastard sword.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's meant
It's
to cut
Scottish,
you in
so
half.
it's called Claymore. Exactly. Yeah. It's big enough that it can just cleave you in half.
I thought those were mines, claymores.
Well, that too. Claymores are also mines.
Oh, damn.
But yeah. So that's a whole other showcase right there. There's also the saber staff, which is the two-sided lightsaber that is used by Darth Maul.
Mm.
Then there's the dual-phase lightsaber, which can extend to almost twice its length by alternating focus between two separate crystals. Darth Vader uses this.
Oh, cool.
And I actually found a picture of his and Obi-Wan's duel where his is considerably longer than his, so he uses that in a fight to alternate the length of it.
Cool.
Yeah, and it's something you wouldn't, if you look, you can kind of see it, but it's. I think maybe they came up with that excuse to cover the fact that sometimes it looks like it's longer than others.
I think if people notice, you got to
exactly. You got to come up with something. Yeah.
Right.
But Kylo Ren uses a cross hilt version that we've seen in the trailers for The Force Awakens, giving it more of an appearance of a sword. It's also outlined with a red static electricity instead of solidifying into a smooth blade. So we're not quite sure. Hopefully I don't know if they'll go into that, or like why his lightsaber looks different. But it looks ragged. It looks
awesome.
And it may be a bad crystal, because they're all built on crystals, and that's what focuses the blade.
Could be the only one he found or could get. Yeah. So he's
and actually, I found, and this may be stuff that's just been wiped out from the extended universe.
Yeah.
Or is what did you say they're calling it now?
Legends.
Legends.
Yeah. It's canon and legends.
Okay.
Yeah.
But in that, the extended universe stuff, they talked about how Luke had to get a synthetic crystal, because when the Jedi were wiped out, to keep them from coming back, or anybody trying to make a lightsaber, Palpatine went and found the places where they would get their crystals and destroyed
it.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Luke had to use a synthetic crystal when he made his. So when he started to rebuild the Jedi Order, they had to go and see if they could find the places again to find the crystals.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But again, like I said, that may all just be wiped out of.
Well, this makes me think about, because the Emperor has all these after missions after his death, like that I read in Shattered Empire, and I'm like, why would he go do that?
Yeah.
What are the secrets there? And it could be that.
Yep.
Maybe he's trying to eliminate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, the original lightsabers were actually called proto-sabers, and they were powered by belt-mounted power packs. So they were a big pain, basically.
Oh.
They were just ungainly. They couldn't really. They were not portable much at all. And this is all from the extended universe again as well. But they were the Sith, actually, the Dark Lords of the Sith Empire, were ultimately responsible for the advancement of lightsabers. They were the ones that replaced the belt-mounted power packs for the proto-sabers, and made them into put the power cell inside the hilt.
That makes sense.
So it made it portable.
It's nice and convenient. Yeah.
And so during the war with the Sith Empire, mostly the Jedi still were using the proto-sabers, but the Sith were using the lightsabers, and they eventually the Jedi
that's
adopted
convenient.
them.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's really convenient. Let's do that.
I like that.
Now the different colors. And again, this is something we saw in the extended universe. The different colors are done by the crystals that they use.
Yeah.
Originally, the only colors we saw were blue for the Jedi and red for the Sith.
Right.
Then in Return of the Jedi, Luke constructed his own, and it was green.
Mm-hmm.
It was originally supposed to be blue as well.
Right.
But they changed it so that it would stand out better against the Tatooine sky.
Oh.
So when he was fighting,
on the sand skiffs,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. They changed it to green so that it could. But there are some posters where it's blue.
Ooh,
those are probably
very valuable.
Yeah, very valuable. So, in the prequel we see basically a bunch of different colors. Specifically, the one that stands out to everybody was Mace Windu's purple one.
Yeah.
And that was specifically because Samuel L. Jackson asked for it.
Yeah, I watched the ESPN Kendo special we announced last show, and it was awesome. And then you see Mace Windu, and he's talking to George. George looks very intimidated by by Samuel L.
Yeah.
And he goes, and then George is like, in his nerd voice, like, good guys are green and blue, bad guys are red. And then Mace was like, okay. He's like, how about purple? And then George was like, I think we can get you purple. And he's like, I want purple.
Yeah, because he wanted it to help him stand out from the rest of the group.
Right.
Which, Samuel L. Jackson doesn't need any help standing out from the rest of the group.
But he had,
but it's
just
also
that color. I mean, it was awesome.
But it's also his favorite color, and he likes to incorporate stuff in his movies. He asked that a lot of times to use purple in his movies.
I'm gonna start looking for that now.
Yeah, exactly.
See,
Me too. Yeah,
in his other roles. Yeah.
Yeah. But in the prequel, we saw a bunch of different shades. When they're now different shades of purple, obviously with Mace Windu, green, blue, yellow, orange. So we got all those in the prequel, like especially the Attack of the Clones, the big fight with all of them. You can see a bunch of different like shade. It's more shades than different colors.
Right.
But you
7
also
colors really.
Yeah, it was huge. Yeah. And but then in the Clone Wars series, I don't know what she used when she was a Jedi, but is it Ahsoka?
Ahsoka, yeah.
Ahsoka, when she is no longer a Jedi, when she leaves the Jedi Order, she starts using a white one.
Yeah.
So.
Ahsoka first used her lightsaber Shoto, or short saber, in the episode Altar of Mortis. This was the first canonical appearance of a saber that is yellow in color.
Okay.
Yeah, but there are white sabers as well.
Yes, after she leaves, she uses the white ones. Yeah.
This is in Rebels. Ahsoka's sabers are white to reflect her non-affiliation with the Jedi. I guess when she breaks away,
when she leaves the Jedi Order. Yeah. And then there's the one right above it,
the dark saber.
Dark saber. Yeah, it's black.
That's
so it
awesome.
doesn't. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's real cool.
So yeah, there's different in the extended universe. There's a bunch of different ones. So you get a lot of different stuff. But again, like I said, it's kind of been wiped out now. So I don't really.
Well, Rebels, Clone
Wars and Rebels
will stay canon.
Is canon.
Yeah, so that will remain Ahsoka's stuff.
Yes.
And then there's another double-bladed one like Darth Maul's, Savage Opress. I don't know who that is.
I don't know.
And similar to Darth Maul's, that has the, I guess it's it emits on both ends.
And then we got that one that's curved. That's really odd. It's like two curved ones put together.
Yeah.
So it's like Darth Maul and Count Dooku.
Yeah, all in
one. Yeah.
This is from the Bounty Hunter video game.
Oh, okay.
So that might be way out of canon.
Yeah, that's way out of canon. Yeah.
But then, I guess
the Inquisitor is actually that's in canon because that's Rebels. But it's like a protected handhold,
right?
But double-sided as well.
That's interesting. I wonder how that would work out.
Darth Sidious one he wasn't
black,
really
wasn't it? I thought it was black.
No, I don't think it was black, but it wasn't really something he used all the time. That was the weird
when they went
thing.
to arrest him.
Yeah, it was the weird thing when he fought with Yoda. I was like, okay, you've never seen the Emperor use a lightsaber.
It would be all Force lightning.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just weird to all of a sudden now he's this great swordsman. It was weird.
Yeah. But when he stabs the two Jedi next to Mace Windu, and then he's got to fight Mace, and the actor who plays him, he was in the show, and he was saying, he's like, they never asked me to do any sword fighting because I had the lightning, and now all of a sudden I had to do it.
Yeah.
And they were going to have
now he's
a
much
double.
older.
Yeah, right, much older. And they were going to have a double do most of the fight scenes, but Lucas insisted that he do the routines because of the mids and the close-up shots of him, doing the 90s grimace and all that good stuff. Yeah.
And actually, I think the guy's name was Bob Anderson. He was the swords. I guess the choreographer basically for the sword fights. And actually, in Empire and Return of the Jedi, he was the guy in the suit instead of David Prowse.
Yeah, right. To make it more fight.
Yeah, because he wanted it to. Because I guess they weren't necessarily happy with David Prowse in the suit.
With the Obi-Wan battle.
Let's face it. Yeah, the Obi-Wan versus Darth Vader in A New Hope was basically two old guys poking at each other with a stick.
That was funny.
I mean, it was. So.
And it was just to kill Obi-Wan. I mean, it was just to sort of show,
yeah,
that he could become bigger.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, but they really wanted the one in Empire and Return, specifically the one in Return, to be a big deal and a big fight.
Right.
So they had him in the suit instead of David Prowse to do the fights.
And that guy you're describing, he was like, oh, we got to do kendo. It's like kendo has to be the way. We got to do and then he even talks about in the special how he modified some very common kendo routines to make it good for the movie.
Yeah.
And to create a style. You know,
yeah, because the big, the one where they come almost like behind their back to block something, that is a kendo move specifically.
Yeah. Right. He said like chop, push, and then parry. Yeah. It was a really great special. I mean,
I need to find
anybody.
It and see if I can watch
it's on
it.
YouTube.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
It's really good. Mark Hamill hosts it.
Yeah.
Boy, his voice is pretty rough. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's got like Trickster on the voice. Like he just came from taping The Flash.
It's wearing him out.
Yeah. Right.
Well, cool. All right. So that's our showcase on lightsabers to go along with our just overjoyed nature. The fact that we're getting our new Star Wars this weekend. I don't know if you'll probably get there Monday.
I'm trying.
But
yeah.
So this actually Saturday I'm going to go see it. So I can't. I was going to try to wait and go through the weekend and do exactly what you're doing. Wait till
I'm going to try
till Monday.
Yeah.
But I figured, hey, I'm going to I want to go ahead and get the tickets while I'm here. Let's just see if Saturday's available.
Yep.
Let's just see. And it was. So I went ahead and grabbed 2 tickets. So
you and Emma are going to go?
Yes. Emma and I are going to go, and she is jacked up.
Where you guys going to go out where you live, or are you going to be in Charlotte?
Yes, in Gastonia.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a Regal in Gastonia, which I think there's going to be members of the 501st there.
Ooh.
I don't know if they're going to be there that early, but I think on Saturday they're going to be there.
It's going to be a long day.
Yeah, it's going to be a long day. And now it's like this 70-degree December weather. It's going to be rough. So
yeah, it's hard to be a TIE fighter pilot
that's right.
on Christmas.
So that's our showcase for this week. And before we get out of here, we're going to take a look at our picks for the week. My first one, I've been trying to remember to mention it for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And what reminded me to mention it is issue 2 is now coming out. So it's been like a month since I've been meaning to mention it.
Yeah.
But Batman Europa.
You have mentioned that.
It's like a 4. I mentioned it to you, but I don't think I've mentioned it on the show.
Oh.
It's a 4-issue miniseries. Batman is poisoned, and at the same time he's poisoned, the Batcave is hacked. And whoever does it gives him a clue that to save himself, he needs to go to Europe and follow some clue. When he gets there, the Joker is there, and the Joker has been poisoned too. So the two of them have to work together.
Oh, that's cool.
To solve this and keep the both of them from dying. So it's really ingenious, and it's like I said, the second issue is getting ready to. I think comes out next week.
Cool.
Or maybe this week. I don't remember. But it's a really, really good series. And also on that same vein, Robin War. I think the second one's getting ready to come out. But I just finished reading the first one.
Nice.
And it grabs you right off the bat.
Cool.
Because the first page, the whole thing of this We Are Robin group.
Dun, 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 dun. Sorry.
It starts off with one of them. I don't know if it's specifically one of the guys, because in the We Are Robin series, it's revealed that Alfred is the one directing them.
Whoa.
Because he feels like, Gotham needs somebody. Why he would just pick out random kids to let them do it, I don't know.
Yep.
But that's always bothered me. But the first page is a kid who keeps going, I'm Robin, I'm Robin. He's trying to stop. He's got a gun, and he's trying to stop a robbery in progress. Cop comes in, and he of course makes the perp, takes the perp down, but then he turns on the kid. Is like, You need to put the gun down. And the kid starts freaking out, and it ends up the kid shoots both the robber and the cop. And so the city starts going nuts. What are these kids doing?
Yeah.
Why are they here?
So he was dressed up as Robin and has a gun.
And he keeps saying, "I am Robin, I am Robin." And so so it kind of dealt with some of the issues that I have with it. It's like, okay, why are just any kid? It's not. It should be an exclusive club. You don't just get to be a hero.
Especially in the Batman Robin world.
Exactly. Yeah, there should be something.
You have to be really good at something.
Yeah, exactly. There's a reason you get in.
Right.
So, and that's kind of the reason. Like if Batman was around, that wouldn't be happening, because he's stomped on people before. Like, okay, knock it off, get out of my city.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be out here. He's done that before, when people are out there, and he's had these arguments with people going, what makes me any different from you? And it's kind of the thing from Dark Knight. There's a bunch of guys who are doing this in
his name.
In his name, yeah. And he
fights that one guy, right, who kicks his butt.
Yeah, and he basically arrests them right along with the Scarecrow, and they're tied up waiting on the cops as Batman's walking away, and the guy goes, "What makes me any different from you?"
Yeah, that's a great question.
And he says, "I'm not wearing hockey pads."
Yeah.
That was his answer. But yeah, he knows what he's doing, and he's out there with a plan for a reason. So
it's the same sort of premise in this Robin story.
It's basically, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's the Robin War is gonna include everybody who was Robin.
Oh,
so Jason Todd's there, Tim Drake,
yep,
Dick Grayson, all of them.
Carrie Kelly?
No,
no, she's alternate.
No, she's
Stephanie Brown.
No, that got wiped out with the New 52. So.
Dang.
And she only was Robin for like a cup of coffee. So.
For a cup of coffee.
So what you got in your picks?
So I got an oldie. I was really excited on Netflix. Darkman is going to be added this month. Yeah.
Cool.
So
I've been forever.
I've been sort of digging through crates looking for like old school goodies that are on the streaming services and stuff just to make a reconnection. Mm-hmm. So I've always loved that movie. I'm excited it's coming back.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in a long time, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
And then my one comic book pick for the week is the soon-to-be demise Batman 66 series, which we heard was on the chopping block. Number 30. So in her civilian life, Barbara Gordon may be sitting on tech research that could be a gold mine, and in her life as Batgirl, she's cracked the code that might enable her to take down massive police corruption in Burnside. It's time for Batgirl to level up, but she's going to need allies on both fronts. Enter the spoiler.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that Stephanie Brown spoiler?
We shall see.
Huh.
Yeah. That's so this came out today.
Okay.
So
cool.
After we...
What do you mean yesterday?
Yes.
New comic book day.
That's right.
Yesterday.
Sorry.
We usually record on Wednesday. Now we're recording on Thursday, so it's throwing a monkey wrench in there.
Damn you, Wave Rider.
That's right. He did it.
He did it.
And speaking of, next week, we will not have a show because we're taking the week off.
For Festivus.
That's right. It's a Festivus for the rest of us. So we're taking that week off. But that's going to wrap up this week's edition of the Ninja Troll Digicast. For all the latest news from all around geek culture, make sure you follow us on social media, Facebook.com/Ninja Troll Digicast.
On the tweeters at Ninja Troll Show.
And Instagram at Ninja Troll Digicast.
We're on the YouTubes at youtube.com/C/Ninja Troll Digicast.
And you can always visit us at NinjaTrollDigicast.com. And while you're there, click on the subscribe to iTunes button to get the Ninja Troll on iTunes. Make sure you join us
next week.
2 weeks. In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Same Ninja time.
Same Ninja channel.
You've been listening to the Ninja Troll Digicast. Tune in next time when you'll hear Tim say,
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
This is the Ninja Troll Digicast, the defenders of all things geek culture.
Don't go ninja, nobody don't need ninja.